Wah, 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 wah. Hello, everyone. And just before we even get started, I would like for you to kindly take a look at this important message. We indeed. Welcome, everyone, to, I love that, Saturday Night Star Trek. And it's a very special Saturday Night Star Trek because I think we would be remiss if we didn't open up by singing Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday today to you. Happy birthday, dear William Shatner, Captain Kirk, and Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock. We love you both. We thank you so much for Star Trek and your wonderful characters, and we love you both. And that's enough of that flashing stuff. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, my friends, to Saturday Night Star Trek number 63, I think it is. Yes, 63. Of course, clobbering time's 326, but actually that's on YouTube. It's 1,026 overall. And I cannot wait to just dive right into that. But we got to handle a few things first, my friends. It is great to see you. And let me, as always, thank my lovely, wonderful, magnificent First Officer Commander R.M. Briggs for being here with us. It's so lovely to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here.
I love you. I missed you. Let's do this. I can never get enough of you. I mean, it's only been since Thursday. But I mean, it's got to be an every day of the week thing, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk almost every day when we can, that's for sure.
We do.
And it's still never enough, folks. But I tell you what, yep. Happy birthdays to them both. Yes, folks, look, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, 91 this week, including today being Nimoy's birthday. We lost him, tragically, a good number of years ago. I believe 2015 was. Oh, man. Yeah. Steve Mitchum, buddy, you're sick tonight.
Yeah.
Again, man, I'm so sorry, brother. Just kick back, take it easy. Please feel better soon, man. Please feel better soon. Sorry about that, bro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I'm glad
but I'm just very worried because Steve and Maddie are sick again.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, bro. I wish I could do something, man, but, those who pray, please pray. Those who just vibe and send well wishes, please do that. From all the clobberers here, we wish you a speedy recovery for you and the wonderful Maddie, my friend, brother.
Absolutely. Beautiful little princess. You guys just rest. Just try and rest, and please drink lots of fluids.
Rest up, indeed. Yep. Yes, look, Gene Roddenberry is the creator and therefore the foundation of Star Trek. The two biggest building stone. The two biggest stones after that to the building are William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, and it's not even close. Nobody outside of Gene Roddenberry, and I mean nobody. There were many wonderful, wonderful people who helped to give us Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry was the first one to tell you. A lot of people helped him out, but William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. They're the engine, the two of them, and of course, along with the great D. Kelly, are all of Roddenberry. There's a Mount Rushmore of Star Trek, and I'm talking for all of real Trek, 66 through 05, the 735 that we all enjoy, that we all love, even though we don't love every episode and we criticize some episodes. the entirety of Star Trek.
Yes.
If there's the Mount Rushmore of it, it's Gene Roddenberry, and then the other three heads on it are Shatner, Nimoy, and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to denigrate any of the other Treks or iterations, but that's the Mount Rushmore right there, and I don't think that's even debatable. You can debate it if you want to. I just don't think it is.
Well, if anybody tries to debate you on that, I think I might start deploying some shin kicks. And Dorian shin kicks.
Wow, and Dorian ones. Oh, gross.
And Dorian female Bishi warrior kicks to the shins.
Now that hurts. That hurts. My goodness. But anyway, I'll tell you. So we just, this is a wonderful Saturday Night Star Trek tonight is dedicated to those two extraordinary gentlemen. The one still with us, Mr. Shatner, and the one that we tragically lost many years ago, Mr. Nimoy. And we love them both.
To COPD.
Yeah, and they're just
to COPD, unfortunately.
Oh yes, absolutely. So now I guess let's see here. What do we got going on? I
have something interesting to show you.
Okay.
I know a wonderful gentleman. He's a fine Irishman, don't you know? His name is Eric O'Sullivan.
Eric. You might be hearing this on a replay later, so go ahead.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and he sent me a letter. It appears that the good folks of Boston have decided to do something right pleasant for the great Leonard Nimoy. Would you like to see it?
Please. I think we would all like to see that. And like I said, it's Leonard. So, you want me to put it up there? You got it? I'll get it. Oh, you got it? There you go. Go for it.
Yes, the city of Boston last year on March 26th, Martin J. Walsh, the mayor of Boston, proclaimed today Leonard Nimoy Day. So I would just like to say to the great folks of Boston, whether it's Boston or Boston or Boston, what a great thing to do. What a great, wonderful, and wise thing to do. So I doff my cap to the great city of Boston for making today Leonard Nimoy Day.
Wow, amazing. Happy Leonard Nimoy Day to you all, my friends.
He'd be 91 today, boss.
Oh, my goodness. That's right. Yeah, he and Shatner both would have been, no, Shatner is 91. He would have been 91. So isn't it amazing they were born so few days apart? That's great. I mean, that's crazy. But fantastic. And yes, so number 2 of the triumvirate of the Trinity. And well, I tell you what, that is a wonderful and well-deserved thanks. Well done, Boston. Well done, Boston.
Dun, 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 dun. All hail Boston.
Hail Boston. Well done. Like that. Well, let's see. Let's say some. How about we say some hellos and to our wonderful friends in the chat who are here.
Lots of good friends are here this evening. I'm so excited. So many intelligent, insightful comments. We are in store for this evening. Some really great commentary and wonderful, colorful, intelligent, beautiful personalities are in this room. Let's rock it, boss.
Indeedishness. Let's see here. Of course, as always, our great chief engineer and great friend, Mark D with a C, is with us today. Hey, bud.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, indeed. I spy with my little eye the great chief of security, Lord Thoth, LT, buddy. Avon lives, long live the Legion, and shout out to Mrs. LT.
I ditto. I'll just say ditto. And also, Avon does live.
He does. He ducked.
He does.
Because he ducked. So, sorry. J-Man. I don't know if J-Man said he couldn't stay long, but he did pop in earlier. I hope you're hearing this, buddy. But if you're not, maybe you'll hear it later on the reruns. If you hear it, either way, to the great J-Man, I say thee happy little Nimoy Day, and good to see you, my buddy. I hope you are doing well. You and your wonderful wife. Yes. And Avon lives to you because he's now a Blake's fan.
Yeah, I got to get him on UFO, but yes, to J-Man and Mrs. J-Man. Hello.
He bought UFO.
Oh, what?
He already got it. He heard me talking about it the other night, Wednesday night, even before he started talking about the next night, and he went after it. That's a go-getter right there.
I need to
go. J-Man.
I need to go and watch his reviews because I'm
Yes.
sick in the head for UFO. Like I
Yeah,
watch it 24 hours a day when I'm not watching Star Trek.
he
Like
just
I'm
got it. He hasn't watched it yet, but he's got it.
oh, that's beautiful. I
I don't
love
know when he
UFO.
starts. He starts soon. UFO is
Shadow
it.
Striker.
I know. Pleasant Valley Picker, California. Hello there. Good to see you, my friend.
Evening, BC. So nice to see you. You were such wonderful company on Thursday night.
Oh, he watched
Lovely
the
to
first
see
episode. Look at that. Look at that.
you.
He's already watched the first one.
Nice.
He's on it. He is on the case. Might
Are you
pass me up.
watching in Jerry Anderson's order? There are lots of different orders: production order, UK broadcast order. Then Jerry Anderson had his own order. I watch in Jerry Anderson's order, and
Which was
that means that 5 is moved.
right. So yeah, if you want that order, contact myself or I can't get it at the moment, but if J Man may already have it, but if you don't,
Yeah,
J Man, I think Mark D with the C knows how to grab that. He's the
yeah,
one who
yeah,
gave it to
yeah.
me. So, D Bud Martin, brother, and dude, it was again as always, man. It
Mm,
was a
mm.
pleasure hanging out with you last night on our great buddy Nick's show last night. The great Nick Weiser, what an amazing thing he does on Friday nights.
That was a panel of extraordinary gentlemen. You've heard of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? That was
Panel.
the panel of extraordinary gentlemen. Clobby was there, Nick was there, D Bud was there, and everybody knows I love D Bud. And Nick and Ironcaster and LT was there, and LT
Right,
had a port. It was great. We had so much fun.
LT indeed, he was ported.
He
Uh,
was ported.
Fed him outside, buddy. Good to see you, Mo. Good to see you.
Evening.
He's watching an Amazon Prime order. Well, I don't know what order that is, but there is the YouTube's got them all out of order. But not in fairness to them, that was the standard order that was it was air. That's the DVD order because it was there, which is in the air date order. But anyway, Mazeris, hello there, Mazeris.
Mazeris. Oh,
Uh,
also Mazeris, just so you know, I abandoned my Twitter account. It was just that there was too much politics on it. But I have started a new Twitter account. I'm back on Twitter, and I would love it if you would join me there because you're a good friend, and it'd be nice to see you there.
There you go. There you go. The Comic Relief Crusader. Hey there, buddy.
Evening.
Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. The super one himself, the great Kal-El 48. Hey, bro.
Hello. The real soup.
Good to see you. Enigmatic Drop Berry D. Hello, hello, hello.
That's the erudite bear. He's going to drop a mic tonight. You'll see.
Absolutely. Always, always, always. Near that, an Anaximanda bear, another bear. There we go with another bear there.
Another good bear. You're right. Anaximanda bear is a great bear. Good bear.
Good to see you there. Good to see you. Let's see here. And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete and Leslie. Oh, we did a whole show, like a whole segment on our show on Thursday about some beautiful Star Trek stuff that the Pete's sent me, and I just you simply must, if you love Star Trek, like, what do I call it? Should I call it memorabilia? No, it's not memorabilia. It's just
Stuff.
it's just gorgeous, and you need to go watch Clobby's Clubhouse. We did an entire segment on these generous, incredibly generous and thoughtful gifts from my great friends who I love very much, Scuba Pete and Leslie Scuba. So to the Scubas, I love you guys.
Thank you, good Scuba Pete. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for that. And of course, thank you to the great Cardinal Sin for this 1999 super sticker. Hey, Cardinal, buddy, I hope you're doing well. It's good to hear from you as always, and you were too kind and too generous, my friend, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gil. You know that I love
man.
you. And I just thank you so much for supporting Clobby's channel and for supporting this show. It means a lot to both of us. And you're just the best. You're a very, very good friend. And in order to have friends, you have to be a good friend. And boy, you exemplify that. Thank you so much, Gil. And if you're not following Cardinal Sin, please do. Go follow him on YouTube.
Yep, I hope everyone is. And I do have the link. Most of us probably do know him, but just in case you're not, please go follow the great Cardinal Sin, our good friend. And we'll thank you again, Gil. Appreciate you so much, buddy. Let's see here. Hungry Boy, another great, fantastic friend of the show. Good to see you there, buddy.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thousands of kisses.
or as he is known tonight, hungry to try making comic art on stone paper. I like that
Ooh.
name. Wow, I like it.
I love his names.
The great master of Limerick, and he's got some treats for us tonight, as he always does. Max Redstone,
Max!
dude, I cannot wait. We have. He is just look, man. You've done so. I don't even. I wish there was something I could do for him just to show him how much we appreciate all he's done for this show. And he's just a great, like what you all do though. Just being here is amazing. I just love his contribution.
Well, we
It's
can
just
thank him.
extraordinary.
You know that I come from the world of writing and publishing, and I definitely am going to encourage him to publish his limericks from Saturday Night Star Trek. And I definitely, if he is up for doing that, I definitely am going to do my darndest to offer
Cool.
any advice if he'll have me or if he wants it. And certainly, I'm going to promote the crap out of it because
Oh,
I just
cool.
think
All
he's
right.
brilliant and wonderful and he's such a great part of our community and our show. And let's face it, he's a talented writer. Sometimes cerebral with these limericks,
He's
and
brilliant.
sometimes downright hysterical.
Oh
And
yeah,
and the mixture is just it's great.
incredible,
It's really great.
incredible stuff. Absolutely. Michael Beacom, hey there, Michael.
Michael
Always
Beacom!
great to see you. The aforementioned great Steve Mitchum's here. Dude, be well, buddy.
Yes, and take care of Maddie, honey. I know you must be exhausted, and it's not going to be easy. And I bet you she's crying because when the wee ones don't feel well, they cry, And so I'm thinking of both of you. Try and get some sleep. Ugh, I feel so bad, sweetheart.
Wolfie is here. Great, Wolfie. Good to see you, my friend.
Are you ready?
Go for it. There you go. He loves that. I'm sure he loves it. I hope he does. Brandon, the anime guy with 4.99 super chat. Thank you. You're too kind, Brandon. Thank you so much, my friend. He wrote, let's see, slogged through season 5 and halfway through 6. The bad is really bad, but the good is really good. But I feel it dropping off some. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying there, buddy.
Yep. What a great
Anything else?
comment, and really reflective of a lot of people in the 735 Club, those who really, really have an affinity for original Star Trek. It really is a mixed bag, isn't it, Brandon?
It really is. And I've never realized how much so, at least on this show, until this time. Also got the book that is being used. It's a great read, Star Trek TNG 365. Excellent, excellent.
And hold on to that book because usually within like 5 or 10 years, the book will actually become very expensive. So the TOS one originally sold in Canada for $46. In
Yes.
the United States, I think it was around $20. Now you cannot get the TOS book for under 90. If you try and you go on Amazon and around $100, you're going to get a new copy of it. But under that, it's all used. So Brandon, take good care of the spine and be gentle with it and hold on to that book because it's going to be worth a bit, I think, because of what happened with the TOS book.
Tyrell 72, good to see you there. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Hello.
Always so great to have you there. King Dolphin TV is here, aka the great Raymond Feliciano, our navigator. I understand. Yeah, there's your sound effect there, Raymond. You take that and run with it, buddy. I think I take it Sandra might be indisposed this weekend, so please send her our love if you would, bud.
Yes, please.
Let's see here. And oh man, the bronze wrencher himself, the great Eric K's here tonight. Eric, bro.
Eric. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Dude, good to see you. Good to see you. Look who else is here. The Dadman clan, Mr. and Mrs. Dadman themselves are here. Wow, good to see you both, my friends. I hope you're doing great tonight.
Love that whole family. They're good people.
The great Parrot Head. Oh my goodness, buddy. Good to see you there.
I hope you have a margarita or you're in Margaritaville or you're doing something wonderful, Parrot Head, because you deserve it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he is. He's wasting away right now in Margaritaville looking for this lost shaker of salt. No, I know I aggravate him with that song, but everyone knows Jimmy Buffett. What are you gonna do? Let's see here. Brandon, the anime guy, I already had him. Thank you again, Brandon, for that. You're too kind, buddy. Trevor Cunningham, great to see you.
Evening, Trevor.
It is great to see you, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Trevor, thank you so much. No, the next one. Oh my goodness, it's clobbering time again because the thing is here.
I was just going to shout that out, but I knew you were going to see it. So the thing is in the house.
I got him. Jobber buddy, Just Joe 47. Good to see you, bro. And Anti-Derivative Jill, our wonderful communications officer, has popped in.
Evening.
And I think we are at the end of our hellos for now anyway. I mean, anyone else who pops in, we will, of course, acknowledge them and get it. Oh, I see another one. Eric Carroll. If I miss anyone, let me know about everyone, because this chat moves on me sometime, obviously, as you can see. Eric, thank you.
Another fine Irishman just walks through the door. Eric Carroll. Good evening,
yes,
sir.
Indeed. Good to see you there, Eric Carroll. Thank you so much. Says, one quick show note. Monday night. Today was also the birthday of one of the greatest comic book artists of all time, in my opinion, and the great Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Ooh.
When I think of the DC characters, it's his art that always comes to mind for me. He defined them. He wrote he drew the DC Comics, style book. Literally, that's not figuratively. He did a book. I forget the exact name of the official, whatever they called it, but I'm sure someone can remember here what it was called. But it's based on his art, and he was their biggest advertising artist. Didn't do as many comic interiors as I'd like, but anyway, on Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk, we will celebrate both one of Mark C's favorite artists and one of mine, the great Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Oh my goodness. Eric Carroll says, Raquel, I read Lila. It's rather heavy. The plot twist is brilliant. Eric, I love you. And I'm happy that you're enjoying it. And Boss Man, guess who just walks through the door?
Who?
A great friend of ours.
Yeah, Pop Culture, right?
Yeah, Pop.
Hey,
Pop Culture Republic is here.
Good to see you, my friend. What a great crowd we got coming in tonight. As always, though. As always, just love seeing all you here. I can't even begin to describe how it makes us feel to just have you all hanging out with us. We really appreciate you.
Yes. So many great personalities, so many wonderful comments, such great conversations, so willing, and so it's a great room to be in.
Well, indeedishness. And why don't we get flying? How about and you could go ahead a little bit and explain a little bit about what we do here.
Yeah, please. Would you like to give them the format, and then I'll explain the book?
Basically, yes. As you see here, this is the source information that my wonderful first officer basically sets up our reviews from. And what it is we will review 4 more episodes tonight, as we try to do every week unless we're at the end of a beginning of season, of course, or end of a season, I should say. We are in season 6 right now of Star Trek: The Next Generation. We're reviewing all of real Star Trek, all legit Trek, from 1966 to 2005. We started with the original series. We then went to the animated series, then the original crew films. Now we are on Star Trek: The Next Generation again, in the midst of season 6. We're going to do all the rest of it well. After that, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. And what we do is we talk. Number one, we'll read some excerpts about each episode, and then we will discuss our opinions on the episode, what we think about the coverage of the episode from the book, and notes. And then once we get our review out there, we will ask our wonderful audience to give their opinions on the episode. They will rate after we rate it. They will rate it, and then we'll have say any comments they have on it. So, this is the book. Please tell us a little bit about it if you would like to. Number one.
Well, this book is if you're joining us and you can't see the visual, there's this picture of this beautiful book. It's a bit of a brick. It's like a cinder block, and that's ironic, of course, because it's written by a woman by the name of Paula M. Block.
And I got it, Max. By the way, I went answering him so he doesn't think I'm. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem.
I got it, Max. Good.
Yeah, and so this book is great because a lot of the stuff that we talk about in Star Trek is a lot of user-generated factoid. It's a fan lore that we've built up over many, many years. I mean, Star Trek fans were very early adopters of the internet, so there's a lot of BS floating around in this, digital ecosystem, and this cuts through it. The book isn't perfect, but one thing I will say why I endorse this book, it's original source material. Paula M. Block is a prolific writer for Star Trek. She has access to the actors, the actresses, the production people, the directors, and she is, so what she's doing is she's getting the information straight from the horse's mouth. There's no BS here, and like I said, she's not perfect. She makes her own mistakes, but remember, in Star Trek, there are lots of varying opinions, lots of perspectives. And so we hash that part out. But it's really great because it offers a little bit of a summary, gives us a
Yep.
little bit of production information that we know is true. And yeah, and then we hash it out. And the boss is right. Really, the best part of this show is when we throw up your comments on that marquee and we talk about how you feel and what you think. And we really stir the pot and we really get the dialogue going about why we like it and why we don't like it. And in that way, I think it's very clever of my captain to come up with this format rather than going at the show in a take by take, plodding along review. This is organic. This is all of us meeting in the cafeteria just outside of the con and just talking about episodes. No filth here. This is the
Only real
7:35.
Trek. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let us begin with our first episode of the evening. If you're ready, number one.
Yeah, boss. Right now, we are on season 6, and we're on episode 10 and 11. This is a two-parter. It's Chain of Command. Now, we all watched this for the first time, well, most of us did, on December 14th, 1992, and then just before Christmas, the Christmas episode, December 21st, 1992. So let's keep copyright compliance, shall we? I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365 The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, but he's not the primary writer here. But I will say this Terry is often the primary writer for Star Trek as well. Both are great Star Trek authors. So now, if you would please turn your hymnal to page 285, crack that brick open, and turn to page 285. I'm going to read extemporaneously. So it's not going to be perfect, and you'll have to live with it. I also will give international pronunciations for those of you at home who would like to fling fruit. Let's do it. Starfleet orders Picard, Crusher, and Worf to leave the Enterprise and participate in a top-secret mission. Investigate a facility where the Cardassians are thought to be creating biological weapons for use against the Federation. Picard's replacement on the Enterprise is Captain Edward Jellicoe, a tough Martinet who immediately butts heads with members of the command crew, particularly Riker. On Celtris 3, Picard, Crusher, and Worf infiltrate the hidden facility only to discover that they've walked into a trap. Worf and Crusher manage to escape the ambush, but Picard falls into the clutches of a sadistic Cardassian interrogator named Gul Madred. Madred? Dread. Reveals to Picard that the rumor about biological weapons was spread in order to lure someone like the Enterprise captain to the site. The Cardassians want to know what strategy the Federation will use if his world does attack the Federation, and he plans to torture Picard until he hears what he wants to hear. On the Enterprise, Captain Jellicoe relieves Riker of command when the first officer voices strenuous objections to the captain's plan to mount a first strike against the Cardassians, a move that could endanger Picard's life. And it looks as though one of our great friends, a guy who I really love a lot, Mr. Tickletrunk, has walked in the door and has left you 2 gifts in the chat. Captain, there is another page to read, but I'm going to pause because I'd like to welcome Mr. Tickle Trunk. Blow him a kiss.
Also, welcome JT Kirk. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, JT Kirk's here. When did you get here? Oh, good,
You just popped in. Good to see you, buddy. And Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you for those gifts. You were too kind. I really appreciate it. Very generous of you. And we are happy to see you. More importantly, happy to see you.
Yeah. Okay, so there is another page, Captain. I'm going to read from page 286, if that's okay with you.
Go for it.
All right.
We'll review these individually. Then, if you want to, at the end, everyone want to give the episode as the two-parter as a whole, as whatever. We're going to review them individually. So
yes,
rate them individually. Right. Yeah.
Captain Edward Jellicoe is, by anyone's definition, a hard ass. But both Ron Moore and actor Ronnie Cox find a lot to admire in the Martinet who takes Picard's place. I really liked having the opportunity to bring in a completely new captain and see what he would be like in charge of the ship, states Moore, who wrote the script for Part 1. I didn't set him up to be somebody who was obviously a jerk and not fit to command. Oh, really? This guy was going to have a different command style than Picard. He was going to insist on different things. He was going to have someone say, "Captain on the bridge," whenever he walked onto the bridge. He made them take the fish out of the ready room, but he also put up drawings from his kids in there. That was a humanizing touch. I never saw Jellicoe as an unlikable character, Cox said in an interview with StarTrek.com. There were a lot of things that he did that were really important for the show. Gene Roddenberry. I hate it when these people run Gene Roddenberry through the mud. Here we go. Let's hope it doesn't totally piss me off. I'm sorry for the profanity. Gene Roddenberry didn't like conflict between the characters, and my guy was the first to come in and ruffle everybody's feathers. I liked that aspect of him. I also liked that he was a by-the-book guy. I thought he dealt with the Cardassians really well, and that he ran the Enterprise really well. Well, that's debatable. Anyways. And he put a uniform on Troy, Moore notes with a chuckle, which I thought was all to the good. In fact, Moore had been pushing for that change for years, and following this episode, Troy would continue to wear that uniform while on duty for most of the rest of TNG's run. It made perfect sense to Cox that his character would insist on a change in the counselor's wardrobe. Having Troy put on a damn uniform, he says, sounding remarkably like Jellicoe. Give me a break. This is an officer on a ship, and she's running around with her boobs hanging out. What? When were Marina's boobs hanging out? I've never seen her boobs hanging out. Women do have boobs, though, right? Like we have boobs, but
I don't remember it.
I've never seen Troy's boobs hanging out. Anyways,
it's a little extreme.
All in all, Moore was pleased with both the character and his portrayal. I thought it was intriguing, he says. Usually, if you're telling a story about another captain coming aboard, he's somebody you set up to be hated. It's easy to dismiss everything he does, and then some idiot in the crew has to save him. But not Jellicoe. Sure, he had to eat a little crow regarding his assessment of Riker, but he got the crew's respect and was, in fact, popular enough with the fans to win a reoccurring role in Pocketbook's New Frontier series of Star Trek novels featuring the fictional crew of the USS Excalibur. And there was even talk of bringing Jellicoe back for another guest shot on TNG, reports Cox. I would have cleared some decks to work on the show again, but it just sort of didn't happen, he says. You know how those things go.
Excuse me.
Oh, and there is one
Keely
more
Chow.
child.
Roll Tide, Keely Chow. Go ahead.
Hey, Keely Chow. Shall I read the next one?
Sure, why not? If you feel like, if you want.
Yeah, boss. I think it's because it looks as though it's doing Chain of Command both 1 and 2 all together. It's just addressing it as one episode. So I'm going to read from page 287, the block text, everyone. Chain of Command was Frank Betamarco's final contribution to The Next Generation, a powerful episode that surprised viewers with its frank depiction of brutal violence and impressed actor Patrick Stewart with its uncompromising ferocity of the script. Abeta Marco reportedly did extensive research on the psychology of torturers and experiences of torture survivors as he wrote Part 2, as did Jerry Taylor when she worked on the script's final rewrite. Jerry was very uncomfortable with the assignment, noted Michael Piller in 2002. She had to do very specific research in order to do it. It was extraordinarily painful for her. Yet from that pain came a drama that gave Patrick Stewart the opportunity to really say something, and for the show to say something to audiences, to make them understand about human rights. I'm extremely proud of that episode. Jerry did a remarkable job. Stewart also did his homework, studying footage provided by Amnesty International before throwing himself into his performance as Gul Madred's prisoner. I wish he would have thrown himself out the airlock instead. I added that part. I'm going to keep reading. It was in instance where my own life was part of what we were doing, he explained nearly 10 years after the episode aired. I'd been involved with Amnesty International for years and years, and they gave us significant help with the script and advice in structuring those torture scenes. And aspects of what Amnesty stands for were introduced into the script as well, which gave me a lot of satisfaction. As a longtime supporter of Amnesty's efforts to free prisoners of conscience and end torture and political killings throughout the world, Stewart vigorously promoted both the organization and the episode after its production wrapped. He continues to participate in Amnesty International events to this day. When Amnesty launched its campaign to stop violence against women, Stewart spoke to them about his painful childhood memories of his mother's abuse at the hands of his father for an article in Amnesty magazine and a related public service announcement. In December 2010, on Human Rights Day, Stewart was a prominent speaker at Amnesty's annual Right for Rights event in New York City. And that is all the block text has to say about Chain of Command Part 1 and Part 2. Clobby, what did you think of the coverage? And let's start with Part 1. What did you think of the episode?
Well, it was pretty interesting coverage, and I didn't know a lot of that stuff. As far as the episode, and again, I did not know any of that stuff that Moore says about Jellicoe. All I know is you got to understand, when I first saw this episode, my buddies and I were very, I'm sorry if it's biased, folks, we were very pro-Kirk kind of guys. We didn't like Picard much. We thought the show, we watched it, we thought good episode's fine, but bad episode, okay. In other words, if there was a good episode, we admitted it, much like we are today, but I was just original series all the way. I always will be, really. But I mean, still, I like the show better now. But at the time, I was pretty biased towards Kirk. So anybody coming on there that just got this crew acting more like a military crew and acted like a hard ass captain and stuff, I'm sorry, we were laughing at it. We were laughing at the way he was coming in there and turning this thing into a military ship. Not very Star Trek of us. We probably not. But I'm sorry, seeing him push Riker around and just be a hard ass. I'm sorry, it's entertaining. I love Ronnie Cox. I think he does it's a terrific performance by Ronnie Cox. It's an interesting story. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not a great episode. It's an okay episode. It's an interesting idea. I think Jellicoe coming in there and being so different from what this crew is used to, I think is probably the most entertaining thing about the episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that the second episode is completely different.
It is.
I like Ronnie Cox in this role. Are we supposed to like Jellicoe or something? No, you're not really. He's in there to turn the Enterprise into a warship.
Yeah.
And that's Starfleet's fault as well. Starfleet told him to go in there and do that. And he's just a different kind of a cat from Picard. He goes in there. He's not interested in making friends. He's interested in getting that ship ready to fight.
Yep.
And look, sometimes you got to be that way. Now, with Kirk, I'm not saying Kirk acted like he didn't know, but Kirk was more of a no-nonsense guy who really understood toughness far more than Picard ever did.
Yeah.
And Jellicoe, certainly handled it more like a military ship than Picard ever did, and I like that. And I found that to be the most entertaining thing about the episode. I really like Ronnie Cox, and so I think this is a solid, very entertaining first part of this story.
Oh, cool.
So.
Well, for me,
Notes?
I can't agree.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. Notes? That's okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But as a Gene Roddenberry fan, and certainly as an author, I have some things to say, and I
Go
hope
for
I
it.
won't upset anyone. But
Well,
I'm
who
just going to
upset?
give her.
I upset anyone? You know, look at. Come on, now it's us.
I know. Let's do it, guys. Admiral Nechayev doesn't wear a comm badge. Why?
Really?
It's weird, and
Could have been an accident, maybe, or no?
yeah, I don't know. It's just weird.
A float.
Poopy Stu gets his awful way with Livingston. He had bitched, whined, and moaned about the fish tanks and argued and fought with Gene Roddenberry about them. Poopy Stu believes aquariums are unethical. And so Poopy Stu has talked about this episode in the press
Oh
and at
God.
conventions and basically said, this was his way of talking about the fact that he believes aquariums are unethical. I would just like to say that for the record, I believe aquariums with fish in them are perfectly ethical. And please note that Jellicoe says one fish. He says, "Get that fish out of my ready
Is
room."
that what that was for?
Yeah. Um,
Oh, good Lord.
yeah, but just so everyone knows, there are 3 tanks in Picard's quarters proper, like in his offices
Oh, okay.
and in his areas. He has 3 tanks of fish,
Right.
and they're quite beautiful fish, and I like fish. I'm not going to get into whether or not I think that we should have large mammals in tanks, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about some fish in an aquarium, and I
Mm-hmm.
like having aquariums. So I think it's weird that this was written into the script so that Poopy Stew would be able to mount his defense against wanting to have the fish removed from the set because he believes aquariums are unethical. Also, I just want Poopy Stew to know that when I was young, my goldfish died and I flushed it down the toilet.
I'm beginning to think that number one doesn't like me very much. Oh my goodness. That's just a
Con-
thought.
Continuing with my notes, Jellicoe would never happen if Gene were alive. Jellicoe is openly combative even when he is corrected by Data. So Data tells him that his strategy is wrong and his facts are wrong, and yet he continues. He's rude and unprofessional. Gene wanted a crew of professional, polished, cordial astronauts and service people, servicemen and women, cordial astronauts. Astronauts who were eager to contribute their expertise. The whole story goes against Gene Roddenberry's ethos. Jellicoe and crew go against this ethos. Um, this is very un-Star Trek like. The writing is meant to defy the creator. So we can see that now that Gene has passed away, that now we don't have to have these incredibly best of the best, incredible astronauts getting along, solving problems together, trying to edify themselves and self-actualize and move humanity forward. We're just back to bickering and BS. Beverly is fully buried in the caverns, but remains miraculously clean. This isn't science fiction. This is a story of a crew. This is a story of crew conflict, and it's an action adventure episode about being a POW. Why would Picard, Crusher, and Worf be a good biological weapons reconnaissance team? In all of
That's
Starfleet,
what I was wondering.
a biological weapons reconnaissance team made up of P-Hard, Crusher, and Woof. It makes no sense. And those are my comments and notes from the Part 1 Boss Man.
That was one of, excuse me. That was always my biggest question. That why, first of all, I don't entirely agree that you can't have people who are jerks in Starfleet. I mean, in the 24th century, I don't think you should eliminate jerks from the human
I
gene
don't
pool
think
just
he
yet.
did that either. And so I
But
think it's BS that they're always saying that because he didn't say it.
no, I thought you were saying that Gene Roddenberry wouldn't want any captain to act like a jerk to people sometimes. I mean,
Well, it's not that. It's that he wouldn't want the entire episode based on all of this conflict that seems insurmountable and so much bickering. I mean, the Jellicoe guy, Edward, he winds up bickering with everyone, including the Decker unit. And it's just, if Gene were on set, he many of his episodes, brilliantly written episodes, had conflict in them. And some wild behavior from some commodores and admirals in Kirk's day. But it was always this consummate professionalism of Kirk's astronauts, of Kirk's service persons. The truth is that there's no way you could act the way that Captain Jellicoe acts in space. You just couldn't. Not if you were living aboard a ship. They would definitely put you out the airlock. It's a bunch of the hyper elite astronauts, brilliant, some of our most brilliant minds, and well thought out teams. The HR on these ships must be astronomical, literally and figuratively. So,
what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
I think that's what Gene was getting at, and they're always like, "Oh no, Gene didn't want any conflict at all." No, that's BS. It's not that. It's that he wanted consummate professionals who were polished and cordial, and they were astronauts and service people, and they had a chain of command, but certainly not like this. This is like, settle down, Grampy.
I don't know, Ryan. I thought Jellicoe's job was to turn the ship into a warship. I mean, and they was doing that. And if you're turning a ship into a warship, there's not a whole lot of room for Mr. Nice Guy. But I hear you.
Yeah. And to be fair, I do think that it's ridiculous that they even have to turn it into a warship. If it's a warship,
I'm with you there.
What kind of presupposition is that? So then get the kids off the ship. There are over 1,000 people on board. There's something like 50 or 60 children. Get the children off the ship, and the captain should stay at the helm. The captain should stay on his ship. No one would have kicked Kirk off of his ship. I mean, Kirk was always battle ready. Tell me one time when the Enterprise was ready, because the Enterprise was never ready, and yet she went into battle with her captain, and her captain was always ready for diplomacy, some type of scientific analysis, or some type of combat. And that's what it takes to be a Starfleet officer. And if Jean-Luc isn't that a Starfleet officer, he's got to go. There's no need. There should be no need for Edward Jellicoe.
Well, yeah, but they were sending their excuse to do a story where you have a disruptive and pretty much not a super nice guy captain coming in and pushing around the Enterprise crew, was to have to send Picard. So you could argue this story should have been written. It was to have to send Picard to do something else. In other words, and I think that's part of it. I think he wanted to do a story where he could have a captain come in to stir things up that has a completely different style of command, that is kind of a jerkwad. Mm-hmm. And to do that, they had to concoct some way to get rid of Picard. Then, of course, you have the other storyline of the second episode, which is also what they wanted. They needed to get Picard captured so they could have their little story about him being tortured and whatnot. So, so I don't know. I've always thought that Kirk, certainly was nothing like Jellicoe, but he was could be a hard nose when it had to happen. Kirk could be that. I never saw that in Picard that much. Yeah. And back then we used to go, wow, this is serious stuff, and this guy's getting them ready. Although I totally agree that you should not have a bunch of kids on the ship when you're trying the thing if you think you're going to be going into combat. That was really stupid, just like a lot of things in this episode.
Yeah.
And I also thought, wait a minute, why are you sending Picard? And first of all, why wouldn't you send Data?
Yeah.
Instead of Crusher,
yeah.
Or at least Data as well.
I get Worf being there, but I don't understand.
I get Worf being there.
Yeah, why is Picard out of all of Starfleet? Why would we choose Picard and Crusher and Worf? And so for
Agreed.
me, I cannot. For me, I don't even feel like it's worth arguing the inside of the story, because when I look at the presuppositions and I look at what the script is hinged upon and where it comes from and what it was meant to do, which is to piss off the legacy of or piss on the legacy of Gene Roddenberry by overdoing the conflict and sort of chortling about it like it was super fun, and then to do the thing with Livingston, and then to turn that into a bit at the cons, for Poopy Stew to be able to talk about that at the cons and stuff. I just think the whole premise of the story is annoying. It's
Yes,
not.
I agree.
It's not science fiction. It's an action adventure episode. The first part is it's an action
Yep.
adventure episode and a highly political episode on POWs. And it was written to
Right.
Openly, that they admit that it was openly to defy Gene Roddenberry's Bible, Gene Roddenberry's ethos, and obviously the decisions he made on set, especially where Picard, being a person who likes fish, is concerned.
Well,
Lots of
You know,
people
you-
like fish.
can't argue with that. I like fish too. So that's now I wondered I always thought that was bizarre, the fish line, and now
Yeah.
you've told me something that I did not know about, how the whole fish thing was a big deal.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a huge deal.
Wow.
He like got into like big fights about it, and you can't say that the reports of the big fights over Livingston was just they were overstated or whatever, because here we have him bragging that he got to do this, like to make this statement through the show, and then talked about at the conventions and with the press about the fact that he thinks fish tanks are unethical.
T. Kirk. Sorry. That was
What did
funny.
JT say? Tell me.
He said Picard was on the team because of the Academy running team, and he was good at fencing with Guinan, and duh.
Yeah,
Ah,
it just it
Oh,
doesn't make
dear.
any sense that Nechayev would choose Picard to do that, and I think it's preposterous for Ronald D. Moore to write a story in which a captain was so weak he had to be replaced because he couldn't even face battle. He, he had to be
Hey,
replaced.
that's
but-
probably why we laughed at the episode so much back then, and
Yeah.
said, "See, Kirk wouldn't have to be replaced with his own film."
And that's my litmus test, Clubby. That's how I judge things. I sort of say to myself, okay, this P-hard fella, what would Kirk do? And if
always
it
say
doesn't
that.
pass that litmus test, if it doesn't pass the sniff test, it's poop. And you have to call the club Oni.
So, in that case, number one, I'll ask for your rating of part one of Chain of Command. Chain of Command. And what is your rating? And well, go for it. What is your rating?
Well, what I tried to do is be as positive
Hey,
as possible.
be savage. If you hate it, whack that sucker.
Oh, well,
you don't
that's
stand on
coming.
ceremony around here.
Well, that's coming. But
Okay,
for this
okay.
one, I tried to be as generous as possible because everyone knows I try to give as high grades as possible. I'm that way as a teacher as well in real life. I like to be encouraging, and I also like to be appreciative
Oh, be brutal.
of other people's work. I was extraordinarily generous with this one because I tried to step out of being a huge Gene Roddenberry fan and a huge TOS fan, DC Fontana,
Mhm.
the old Trinity. Tried to step out of that, and I sort of thought to myself, okay, this isn't science fiction. It's action adventure, and it's a political commentary on POW, prisoners of war.
Right.
What could I give it? Just as pure drama. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. That's as high as I will go, and believe me, I struggled to give it that
I
high of
gotcha.
a mark.
Well, I give it a C plus because, again, as you know, that's not a super low rating for me either. It's just not a super high one because I did enjoy Ronnie Cox. I enjoyed seeing him come in and playing, again, not a particularly nice dude, but sometimes the commanding officer is supposed to be nice as far as even in the 24th century, if there's an emergency situation. Now, I do understand and take your points that they were really reaching to concoct this whole cockamamie situation to put him in, but he was still in it. And his job was, whether we like it or not, as per Starfleet, was to turn the ship, make it battle ready.
Yep.
And from that standpoint, I mean, he was not very nice, but I like Ronnie Cox as an actor. Excuse me, and I like the fact that here we got a captain that comes in to see how this crew reacts to an actual military command guy instead of a guy who has no military style of command at all in Picard.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that stuff in the first episode. I guess I enjoyed seeing Riker getting pushed around, to be honest. Now, maybe that's why I probably enjoyed that more now that I can't stand Johnny Face. To watching him get, smacked around like a biatch is kind of funny.
The Decker unit takes a pounding here.
It's funny to me.
And it's hysterical. It's great.
Yeah. It's immature of me, but I found that.
No, it's not immature of you. And the thing is that, you and I, we've spoken about this at length about what it was like for us in real life as adults watching TNG, how we felt about it against TOS. We were asking ourselves, is this actually Star Trek? Is this good? And so, Chain of Command, I just don't think it's aged well.
No, it has not. All right, everyone. Forget what. As always, this is the segment where I ask you and our wonderful friends in the chat to rate and make any comments you would like to make on the episode. And always remember, we don't say this. I don't say this often, but I'm going to say. I forget to say this when I want to. Do not listen to a word. I mean, in other words, don't let anything we say, influence your judgment or your rating at all. You loved it and thought it was the greatest one ever. Fantastic. You thought it was the worst piece of garbage you've ever seen. Fantastic. Either way, be honest. And hey, because we don't always agree on everything. And like I said, Raquel came up with some points that hello there, Mega Cropper. Good to see you.
Hey, Mega Cropper's here. Hey, sweetheart.
Good to see you. She came up with some points about Roddenberry and those things that I was never aware of. So anyway, please give your review now. And she's already marking them, right? While we're doing that, how about we have a little fun with a Max Redstone limerick? Are you ready for that?
I think everyone would love that, boss.
All right, here we go. Hang on, Max. I'm going to try to do it justice. Let me clear up a little bit here first.
And sorry for all the clicks, folks, but that's how you get up on the marquee. I have to click while the boss reads. So please be patient as I clickety click, click, click.
All righty here. Okay, folks. Here we go with the limit for part 1 of Chain of Command. Would you like me to read it? No. Go back to sleep, Poopy. I'll call you if I need you. There we go. A war the Cardassians may wage, and just so we're on the same page, Starfleet thinks its best bet against the Theta Band threat is a Klingon, two people of middle age. And since I screwed that up, I'm going to let Poopy Stew try it. A war the Cardassians may rage, and just so we're on the same page, Starfleet thinks it's best against the Theta Band threat. Its best bet, oh yes, I didn't see that word there, I'm screwing it up, is a Klingon and two people of middle age. Oh, I wish I was of middle age. I wish I was back to middle age as a middle-aged robot, but that's neither here nor there. No, right then. Well, let's start reading some of
Isn't it remarkable how, some of the people in the community have become such close friends with us, and how similar their thoughts and feelings are, and we haven't spoken with them about these episodes at all. Like Max and I, we are of one, and certainly the captain is as well. What the hell are you doing choosing Crusher, Woof, and Picard for a reconnaissance mission?
Yeah.
For a biological weapon.
Well,
where are your Makos? Gotta get Mako.
Yeah, you can send anybody but them. Eric K. First of all, thank you. He says, I may be toxic male, but boobs are good. I've often said that myself. I'm with you on there. Revolutionary.
And why are boobs bad? And I don't recall her boobs ever sticking out. I mean, you can see the top of her chest. Yeah, I mean, are we so prudish? I
mean, I got to admit, I chuckled at that scene, but I also thought it was stupid. I'm like, dude, shut up. And she don't think she's good for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I laughed, right? Because she's so useless, Counselor Camel Toe.
Yeah. And she looked okay in the uniform, too. It was tighter. I mean, really, I don't know. But anyway, another one, another super chat from Eric K. says, badges? I don't need no stinking badges. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see. Lord Thoth says, "C. First episode is not my favorite of the two rather. There are issues I have with the military chain of command and the change of command. Discovery needs a Jellicoe or an enema either. Now, yeah, Jellicoe Discovery does need Jellicoe, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our Brandon, the anime guy, says, grade A. I do not care what anyone says. Dick Jones is a badass captain. Dick Jones, of course, his name as Ronnie Cox's name as the villain in the first classic RoboCop. He was a great villain in RoboCop. I love that movie.
And in
Total Recall. Yeah.
Total Recall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Total Recall. Although I do not buy the idea of sending an old man and a non-combat medic on the mission is dumb. At least send more people. I'd say that. Hang on a second, Brandon. If I was going to war with the Cardassians, I want Captain Dick Jones. I mean Jellicoe to be in control. Yeah, the Enterprise transitioned to a warship in a record time. He did. And Brandon says, I also liked having David Warner play a Cardassian. Yeah, that's mostly the second part, but yeah, we got, and I'll be commenting on him for sure. We got to see more of their attempted guile than any time prior. Cardassians are my favorite. No more Council Kamato. I wish she's still there, buddy. Eric Carroll says B. Ronnie Cox must be the most terribly typecast actor in history. He always plays a job. You know, he actually has played a good guy in some stuff. Let's see.
Really?
What was it now? You know, before this, he got nothing but good, nice guy parts. I know that for sure. And I'm trying to think now. But yes, he has this one, which he's not a villain, but he's just a jerk. And then he's Dick Jones. And he's, of course, the bad guy in Total Recall. I can't remember, but I know I saw him in some other stuff. Mega Cropper says, A+, more fun than part 2. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Appreciate that. They're great. Max Redstone says, B, bravo for showing the dichotomy between Jellicoe's efficiency and actual combat experience versus the more laissez-faire style of the Explorer Picard. I guess Riker's previous captain.
Captain, I have to interrupt you for 2 eggs of a dog's tail, but I won't derail the show, I promise. I just wanted to pipe in and say, Max Redstone is refreshing your memory by saying Ronnie Cox was the good guy in Saint Elsewhere. I loved Saint Elsewhere.
I never watched that show, but it was on there, yeah.
And Brandon, the anime guy, memory refresher here. Ronnie Cox played a good cop in Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right. I love him. I can't believe I forgot that. It's one of my favorite movies. Brandon, good show. I did, and he was also in Beverly Hills Cop 2 a little bit. So, yeah, there you go. He was a real good guy in that. Bogomil. Thank you. Thank you for those reminders. Well done. But no, like you say, though, 2 big bad guy roles in movies, though, too. Great, versatile actor.
Yes.
Robert, yes, his previous captain, Robert Soto, was right. He got soft on a luxury liner. Oh, yeah, I remember him saying that.
The love boat.
That's what it is.
We'll be making another run.
You can go all the way if you want.
Oh God, no! Are you kidding?
Second, it is unsurprising that Data is the only officer who can initially keep up. Troy, but puts some damn clothes on for some of the for the jizz. Sorry, I was going too fast there, Max. Sorry. Let me find your other ones here. Oh, there you are. They're all kind of spread out there, dude. Hang on 1 second there. All right. Unless the theater of operations is an early bird diner in Florida, there is no universe in which 2 middle-aged people belong on a covert operation.
Right?
Even if Picard is an expert.
Yeah.
Hang on. Even if Picard is an expert. Is that 4? Okay. Even if Picard is an expert, and then that's confusing because it says even if Picard is one of just a few experts on the subject matter, Picard's and Crusher's appropriate place is as an analyst or a consultant advising a Navy SEAL ship team. Raspberry alert.
And I totally agree. That's what we needed. even if he was like heading the team, to consult the team, we should have had Makos, or red shirts, or some type of special anti-terrorist
Right.
team
You could.
together. But the three of them on a reconnaissance mission in Cardassia, covert mission, biological weapons.
Right.
Come on.
There are a lot of other ways. A lot of other ways you could have set up your silly little Picard gets captured and tortured story.
Hmm.
That would have been better than that. Ronnie
Also,
Cox.
I like goldfish in tanks in my house.
That makes you evil. Ronnie Cox is absolutely superb as Edward Jericho. I agree with that. But I can't give it an A. And let me be frank, Joe Luke, I kind of hope you're not coming back for this mission. But I'm an android now, so I'd be much more efficient, even though I bleed and stuff.
Yeah.
King Dolphin TV, Raymond says B. I wonder why they wanted Picard to do a special op when he didn't have the experience. Section 31 could have been better for this operation. Starfleet is dumb to not detect such obvious trap. Yes, yes, sir. I'm with you, sir. Absolutely,
and Raymond is military. King Dolphin
Right.
TV, the man behind King Dolphin TV, Raymond, is military. So
yes, indeed. Wolfie says rating A++. Oh my F. Oh my F God. OMFG, sorry. Ronnie Cox as a captain. For those who hold that tired old argument that Starfleet is not a military organization, I offer now as the time to bring that up. Yes. Well, I've always. Oh, that's now I see number 3. Where's his number 2?
I don't know.
Let's see here. Wolfie's number 2 is not there.
It should be, unless it's been vaporized by YouTube.
Oh my God, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't. Hello there, J25. Good to see you, by the way. I can't find his number.
I will go back and
His
look.
second one. What I have now, if you look in the starred stuff, is I got his one, of course, as you can see that there,
Let me see if I can.
and I have his number 3. See?
I would never miss my Wolfie.
No, not on purpose. I mean, it just happens. It was going fast.
You have
The chat was
a
moving
very,
fast.
very generous gift from our friend Gil, as well.
Okay, well, let me shout that out to Jill.
Yeah,
to
you
Gil
can go
there.
ahead and handle that while I look for
Okay.
my Wolfie.
Gil, we'll get to that as soon as we can, Wolfie. I'm sorry, but I don't know what happened. My Gil for 1999. Thank you, buddy. You're too kind. Thank you so much. He said, my hat is off to the both of you. You make this look easy. And it is easy, let's be honest. And I know that, but thanks, buddy. And I know that it's not. Oh man, it's totally nothing. But thank you. I hope everyone watching understands the work you put into this. The best way to spend the Saturday night doesn't come easy or free. Well, thank you so much, buddy. You're too kind. But you know what's easy about it, Gills? Because of all you guys and all you wonderful friends that we make doing it. You guys make it. I mean, if it's not easy, you guys make it feel easy because you're just so cool to hang out with. Can't find it, eh?
Where is it? Let me go find my Wolfie. No, Wolfie. I have Wolfie 1 of 3 at 9:02, or well, 2 minutes past the hour, and then I have 3 of 3 at 2 minutes past the hour, and there are only 3 comments in between: Brandon's, Enigmatic Drop Bear, and Enigmatic Drop Bear. So 2 of 3 has been vaporized. I repeat, 2
Wow.
of 3 has been vaporized by YouTube. Wolfie,
Wow.
could you please repost that? I hope you still have it because YouTube has vaporized it, my friend.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll read your 3 for you, and then if you want to just fill in the blank or anything you have on that one, Wolfie, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know why that
I
happens.
hate it when they do that.
Trek Geekery shout out to yet another Excelsior class starship, the workhorse of Starfleet for 80 years. Yeah, that's true. The USS Cairo. The name I could have come. I think they could have come up with a better name, don't you? This is our first mission with our 3-star Admiral Nechayev. But yeah, Wolfie, if you want to add something else.
No, Wolfie. This one came in at 15 minutes after 9, so it came up in the wrong order. We've got Wolfie here, 2 of 3, and I've just put it up on the marquee, courtsy of the Super Wrench, the Bronze Wrencher, Eric K.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks, Eric. So many questions about Captain Jellicoe and why he is such a hard ass. Did he lose friends or family at Wolfie? Oh, Wolfie, Wolfie 359. I see what you did there. Or against those scumbag Kardashians? I don't know. Well done, Wolfie. But yeah, I do. Let's say a lot of people very like this episode very much. So you're not alone, sir. Hungry Boy says, anytime Riker is put in his place is a fab day. I love Ronnie Cox. I loved shaking things up. He says B, by the way. Of shaking things up, leading us to the Cardassian Kafka purgatory. And let's see here. I felt the psychological barbarism of Jellicoe was used to show what can be quickly lost and the joy of reclaiming cordiality. Yeah, there you go. JT Kirk says, B plus, Jellicoe needs to report to the Discovery and fix those crybabies next. The stern nature of Jellicoe wasn't a slam on Picard, but an indictment of how soft Decker Unit plus Troy really were. Wow.
No doubt.
Hell yeah. Let's see here. Let me find your next one. JT also says Decker Unit couldn't possibly command versus Cardassians like he could versus the Borg.
Yep.
He can easily resist the irritated pale skin of the Borg, but cannot resist the large rears of the Cardies. Nice.
JT Kirk, I love you.
Oh, dear. Mrs. Dadman, hello there.
Oh, hello, beautiful.
She says, "C was in and out. Well, was in and out watching this ep. Did like Riker being reamed out. That's always fun. Did not understand a P card. Crusher and Worf on as a away team. Honestly, did not keep my attention. Fair enough.
I appreciate that.
Fair enough.
She's a smart cookie.
Fair enough. Let's see. D. Bud Martin says." Dr. Crusher knows more about bioweapons. She created the most horrifying one of all. Wesley, whoa, dude, for the win. A great.
Oh, you'd like that one.
Oh, my goodness. JT,
not a review, but the unvarnished opinion of D. Bud Martin.
The best, yeah. JT5 says, I gave it a B. Like your point on Crusher. They shipped in Jellicoe. They ship in space specialists all the time. A mission-specific science specialist with tactical skill, maybe. Well, thank you, JT2. Max Redstone says, Cohagen, give these people air. Yep, reference to Total Recall.
Total Recall. I loved it.
Dad,
hey, guess who just walked through the door?
Who?
Rod Thunderheart, author, and overall great guy. Hello, Alberta.
Hey there, Rod. Good to see you there, buddy. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Dadman Walking says, A, one of my fave episodes. Always been annoyed with the crew's let's talk them to death approach, and found this refreshing. Kept my interest. With tense atmosphere, new captain could have been tougher. Mm-hmm. New cap could have been tougher. I thought it was pretty tough as it was, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We're gonna get to the epics in a minute, folks. I'm getting to some of the other ones so we can get to the big ones. And I'm gonna say big ones like the more multiple ones, okay? Side note, I like the transfer ceremony, said J25. Thank you.
I had to put that up on the marquee because I totally agree. I thought that adding that military aspect was very good. I really enjoyed that. That's something I would expect from TOS. That was a detail I would expect from TOS. So I would appreciate that as well. Yeah.
Agreed. That was a very interesting bit. Pleasant and Valley Picker says B+. Thought Jellicoe was interesting. Didn't mind his badassery. Picard torture was disturbing, and Stewart got some good acting in. We're not on to the second part yet, but thank you. You can comment more on the second part if you choose to, Pleasant Valley, when we get to that one. Thank you so much for that. Let's see here. Now, number one, I tell you what, would you like to... Oh, Eric K., by the way, says nothing. He just gives it a B. Thank you, bro.
Eric's not impressed.
Yeah.
I love you, Eric.
That's okay. All right. Our great friend and enigmatic drop bear is got a monster epic here for us, or epic.
It's an epic.
Care to do the honors?
It truly will be an honor. And did you see this comment from JT Kirk?
I didn't.
He says, Wolfie. He says, Wolfie, The Decker unit is into some thick rear nacelles, and then puts a peach in the chat. Is this person not the funniest person? I love JT Kirk. Anyway,
Well done, JT.
up on the marquee, we have Enigmatic Drop Bear, one of our great bears. He is
Yes,
an
ED.
erudite bear. He often drops the mic, and I think he might do that tonight. Look at this Esh pick. It's a 7-parter. To Esh Singh out there,
Yes.
we love you, Esh. Sat Shri Akal, my brother. I hope to see you soon. 1 of 7. Enigmatic Drop Bears giving Chain of Command, Part 1, a C+. The Celtis 3 operation was a job for saboteurs and commandos, and Picard is no Captain Willard, and Crusher is no Nancy Wake.
Mm.
Oh, he's getting vicious. I love it. Whose bright idea was it to involve a Ferengi in this undercover operation? I know, and the Klingon. Such an action could only make this mission a whole lot less covert. Not the Klingons. I'm mixing something up. Don't just ignore me. I'm starting to get tired.
No, I got you.
3 of 7. The notion that a bioweapon could be deployed over subspace is a pretty stupid idea because it opens up all sorts of destructive species annihilation possibilities.
Good, really good point. AD.
Very good point. It was one of many sloppy contrivances seemingly used for the single purpose of setting up the events in the second part. Yeah.
Well said.
6 of 7. How did Crusher detect 5 Cardassians approaching after their discovery, yet didn't detect any before entering the lab?
7
of 7.
Wow.
On the plus side, this episode demonstrated how a change of leader can be effective when transitioning from exploration to combat readiness.
Wow. I'm glad we have ED for this stuff so I don't have to try to think of it because we'd be in trouble.
Well, I love Enigmatic Drop Bear. Yeah. Great comments. I love them all. I love them all. I love them all. Good stuff. Thank you.
And now for our wonderful communications officer, Jill, if you would do the honors again, number 1.
Dun, 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 dun. Anti-derivative Jill, our chief of communications. We love her very much. She's got a 4-parter here. She's going to go ahead and give this a B+. She says, setting up Cardassians coming back. Now I'm almost saying Kardashians, thanks to the chat. Coming back for territory and possibly create
Cardassians.
Yes, exactly. Creating a devastating banned weapon is a fantastic premise. Installing Captain Jellicoe as a Cardassian expert was realistic. While I appreciate Jellicoe's makes stern and steady changes, completely discounting all input from the crew seemed like too drastic of a choice, as if it exaggerated opposite to Picard. Yeah, I mean, Picard has to hold a meeting to find out if he gets to go potty by himself. A more balanced approach where he could still be confident, but also trust in his crew would have been more appropriate. But Troy does look good in her uniform. She does. It's better for her body, I think, a better body choice.
Mm-hmm.
Despite his rigidness, he does have the capability for complex negotiation strategies, which he carries forward despite his misgivings, which is a type of bravery because so much depends on him. Ooh, who is Burnt Virtue? Hello, Burnt Virtue.
Oh no, I can't see that because I'm on the start stuff.
We have a wonderful person named Burnt Virtue who has joined us. Boss, if you would like to add this wonderful person to our list of hellos.
Well, welcome.
It's nice to see you.
Yes, absolutely. And we love having new people pop in. Here we go. Now for the great Phantom Outsider. Number 1 of his. He has a B for the episode. B, based on what I saw, not what's in the book. I felt Jellicoe was a more frontline on the frontier a la Kirk, while Picard and company stayed in the safe areas of Federation space. A shakeup was overdue. The fact of the Decker unit was fine with not executing the captain's orders shows just how behind the curve the crew have become.
Mhm.
Jordy should have listened to Scotty on the Miracle Worker playbook.
Playbook. Yep.
I think it means playbook. Yes, just left the L off of there. Woof, Crusher, Pihard as a strike team. This is not sci-fi, but pure fantasy. It's like
and I'm sorry to interrupt, but Phantom Outsider, that is a good thing to call it. I was trying, like, as an author, to think of how I would like to refer to them in my notes, and all I could think of was reconnaissance team, because reconnaissance teams gather information, but they were doing more than that, because they were looking for more than information. They were looking to destroy the weapon or take the weapon. So I absolutely love that you just banged off that perfect phrase that I was looking for as I was doing my notes. Folks in the chat, this is how we should refer to it. Strike team. That is the perfect diction. Worf, Crusher, and Picard are not a covert ops strike team.
That was
Great wording, a great diction. Phantom Outsider, thank you. And sorry for interrupting you, boss. I just thought that was such a great word choice.
That was it was pretty silly to have them doing that. Yes, James Caserta popped in, I believe.
Hey,
there, James.
Good evening, James.
Where were I? Pure fancy. It's like Buck Rogers bringing Twiki along, which he did, by the way. Some proper strike force, a specialist, Worf and Data, who is briefed by Crusher on what to look for. It's not like Data isn't a quick study. True, the Cardassians are lucky. Soon Jellicoe may unleash the power of omni-consumer products. Nice, another RoboCop reference. I can never have enough RoboCop references. So there, love it. Kal-El, the super Kal-El says B-. Part 1 does set up an intriguing story with the secret mission with Picard, Crusher, and Woof, and it was interesting to see the literal transfer of the Enterprise from Picard.
Yeah,
it was to Jellicoe and the crew's reaction to the change. Although Jellicoe wasn't a likable character by any means, he wasn't meant to be either. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Riker being pushed around by Jellicoe was definitely a highlight of the episode, though. A good first part to a 2-part, but not great. I'm with you there. And I would just say, it was listen, you had another one from him? What was it? I was just him saying hello to JT Kirk. Okay. No, and a thing, because something that I was thinking a bit about what you were saying earlier, with regards to, being very on Roddenberry-like with the way, some of the stuff, the way Jellicoe was acting and all that stuff. That's the kind of thing that that most 90-some-odd% of the people watching it don't know, have no clue about that. Even people who watched Star Trek for the longest time, that will just not occur to them. You are a rare thinker, and also that more about most Roddenberry than most people ever will know in terms of someone who's studied him and all those kinds of things and those nuances. So most people aren't even going to really think about that very much when they watch it. And so they just decide whether they think he was good or not. So you made me think about when you talked about that at the beginning of the show, made me think on that when I never really gave that much consideration of all. I just thought he was a guy in there coming there to kick some butt and kick some life into some guys and say, we got to make this we got to become military for real here for this situation coming up. So that's why I love you anyway, but I love the way you think. You are an original thinker that will think of things way outside the box that very few people ever will. And that's why most people do not think of when you're talking about that. Most people aren't even thinking about that. Even fans who love the show just as much as we do. At least that's my opinion. I could be wrong on that. But that's what I
love you very much. It's very kind of you to say, and that means a lot coming from you, Clobby. I love you very much.
Well, you just got me thinking of that when you started talking about, that before we all started getting our reviews from everyone, about how it disturbed you the way that was handled and the way that was within the story. And that
they admit it.
And
that they admit that that's what they were doing.
And they admit, like you say, they admit it.
Yeah. In more than one interview, they admit it. And it's just sort of like, really? Yeah. That's really what you want to do? And the thing that I don't like about it is when's the last time you heard Roddenberry SHIT talking anyone.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think that's so your review. Which, for example, if you didn't know any of that stuff,
Yeah.
you might whether you might like the episode, you might not like the episode. But with regards of some of the way that the character is written in terms of mainly Angelico,
Yeah.
I think your review might be a little bit different. But you know so much about what's behind the scenes with the why the character and how you've learned so much about, and even forget about what those people said. You know so much about the Roddenberry Bible. Most people don't know that either.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. If you see where I'm coming from.
I do. I do. I love them very much, and I just think that sometimes if you're a really private person and you don't like to gossip and you don't like to backstab,
Yeah.
after you pass away, a lot of people develop opinions about you, and because you never walked around flaunting all of these things, that people who love you should stand in your defense. And I don't know Gene Roddenberry. I think he's absolutely wonderful. I've quote unquote known him my entire life. But I definitely will tell you this, Clobby. I'm a very loyal person. I don't let very many people into my bubble, but I'm a loyal person. And if I know that you're doing the right thing and you're a good person and somebody's saying some BS that isn't true, I'm just going to speak the truth and just say the truth about what was going on behind the scenes, especially if it's somebody who's obnoxious and they're running their mouth, acting like a narcissistic fool. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
love you very much.
Same here. And now, Narada Commander Bear says, as someone who keeps rare tropical fish, I give anyone who doesn't like aquariums an F. I
Thanks, hon.
also just give Angelico an F. I would have mutinied on the grounds that he's annoying.
Yep.
I love you, Narada.
And I love fish. And keeping fish. They don't have to be like super rare tropical fish stolen from secret schools in far flung oceans. We're not talking about that. We're talking about having an aquarium with beautiful fish and being able to have that as a meditative, soothing, beautiful
Right.
hobby where you worship the fish. You love fish. I mean, fish are a lot of work. And keeping them in an environment where you give them everything in the whole world that they would have to struggle for and have a very short life, I think having an aquarium is quite a lovely thing.
Mark D with the C says, the great chief engineer says, B minus. The reason to send Picard is weak at best. No one else could train to discover theta band carrier waves. Well, Data would have, for example. Why was Data not on the away mission? That always aggravated me. Data would have been. I mean, how can you not take your greatest asset? A biological weapon that destroys all forms of DNA. By the way, to speak to that point again, that would be the one thing that would make sense about sending Picard is having data with him.
Yes.
That would actually make more sense that Picard was on that mission. It makes no sense he's on the mission without sending him, without Starfleet going, wow, Data would be invaluable on this.
Yep.
So it's idiotic.
Boss man, may I please interject? I beg your pardon. Please excuse my interruption. But our friend Cameron Pasha just walked through the door. Good evening, Cameron. So good to see you, sweetheart.
Oh, my goodness.
And guess who else is here?
Who's that?
Monkey Jeebus!
Monkey Jeebus. Cameron Pasha, it is an honor to have you stop by Clobbering Times, and I really appreciate that. It's great to see you, my friend, and I hope you are doing well, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. And he says, okay, part two of his is a biological weapon that destroys all forms of DNA. Genesis device, anyone? Yeah, yes. The away team uses ropes. There are no anti-gravity climbing devices or Spock's flying boots in TNG. Yeah. Another good one. No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Number one. Jellicoe's was interesting to shake. I think Jellicoe's was. Anyway, interesting to shake up the crew, but was way too intolerant. Riker can take on the Borg, but not the Cardassians. Well, yeah, there you go. Look, to be fair, as much as we pick on Riker, that was pretty cool how he stood up to him. Also, we'll get to that part later because we're about to get to part two.
Boss man,
yes.
Cameron just had a follow-up comment. He said, I love to see you both and enjoying the show. Cameron, thank you so much. It's great to have you here, and thank you so much for the feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're too kind, sir. Thank you so much for that. And again, honor to have you here. Thank you. Hey, Mark D with a C concludes the first part could have been cut about 10 minutes to get the more important second episode, which
Yeah.
we're about to get to. And the great Eric K with another $5 super chat. The bronze renter. Thank you, buddy. You're too kind. I love fish too. Salmon
Yep.
or fish and chips or some sushi or some halibut.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
I like catfish too. A good catfish is breaded catfish. Whew.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
Even I being the only idiot in Louisiana that hates seafood, even I like catfish.
Okay, it's not seafood that you hate. You hate sea
I
bugs.
hate bugs.
I absolutely love that you call them sea bugs because that's what they are.
They're
It's
bugs.
hysterical, but also accurate. So Clubby hates sea bugs.
My mom and dad dragged me to a seafood place yesterday, and I did not order seafood. Shocker. I mean, but still,
What's
they
this?
try.
Yo, Brandon. How come I can't see Brandon? Did Brandon walk through the door?
Brandon, the anime guy's here.
Oh, that Brandon. Oh, I thought it was someone else. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
I just want to keep it straight. I don't want to miss anyone who walks
I believe
through that
that's
door.
who he's referring to. Anyway, so now I guess, did you have any more on episode 2? Did you have notes for 2 as well?
I do have notes
go
for
for it.
episode 2.
Let's go to episode 2 then.
I will be very quick.
Two-parter. No problem. But here we go, everyone. Chain of Command, episode 2, folks.
Dude. And it's a real poop. Do you know what I mean? It's a number 2 in many ways. Part 2, perhaps may need the clawbony. It's a bit of a stinker.
Oh, no.
My notes read as follows, and I put these notes down for those of you who are new to this show. Oh, the Catman.
The Catman is here. What's up, Catman?
Hello, Dee Dee. How's your wife?
I hope the missus is doing well, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, so I take notes. And this is what I put, pencil to paper. Part 2, it's a duty. The political drama continues. We're no longer Gene Roddenberry's science fiction show about futurism. This is Ronald D. Moore's Dog and Pony show that features office politics and commentary on torture. War in present day, the ransacking and razing of Greece and Egypt, an opportunity for personal conflict, violence, and cruelty. Why does Jellicoe decide not to rescue Picard without consulting Starfleet? Why does he decide that on his own? That's not something he can decide on his own, which is why I take exception with Paula M. Block's contention that he was a great captain. Governments negotiate fervently for MIAs and POWs. A government would not walk away, let alone the Federation, walk away from MIAs and POWs. This is weird, and this isn't Starfleet. And I also don't like that during the negotiation, he's lying, and Starfleet officers don't lie. I don't find it clever. I think it's weird that he comes out of the conference room and he's like giggling, rubbing his hands together. Like he didn't play a poker game. He's lying. Picard has an artificial heart. I'm going to say this again. Picard has an artificial heart. Electroshock would kill him. I grew up with a friend who had a pacemaker and an artificial heart valve. There's no way that you could shock this person and with electric shock so many times and this person would continue to live. It would kill that person, and I love that person very much. And Picard would not be held in a superior's office. This is balderdash. He would be in a cell and he would be pooping in a bucket. Relieving the Decker unit of duty would need to be explained officially. He just wouldn't retire to his number 1 quarters and put on a blue jumper and play his trombone. Blind and narrow view. Ronald D. Moore actually wrote those words for the Cardassian. Blind and narrow view. Which one is it, Ronald? Since you're such a great writer, and Joe Menosky and so many others helped. What did Paula M. Block say? You guys bought Gene Roddenberry a ticket and told him to go on holiday, and that's how you ousted him from the writer's room. What is blind and narrow view? Anyway, Unpopular opinion: Poopy Stew does some massive overacting in this episode. Jellicoe says, "I don't like you. This is not Starfleet. This is not Star Trek. Jellicoe alone gets to provoke a war." Once again, why is he not in constant communication with Starfleet? I also think that it's weird and preposterous that Picard would immediately return to duty with no therapy or time off. They do say in the closing comments, of course, Counselor Cameltoe says, "I read your report." To which he responds, "Yes," and then they begin to have a discussion. But that does not, if we did all of this so that we could demonstrate our feelings and our political thoughts about prisoners of war, and as Poopy Stew said, his advocacy for Amnesty International, then wow, what a disservice it is to those who are POWs, to those families that have had family members go missing in action, because there's this little thing called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And once you have been tortured, physically and mentally tortured for an extended period of time, you don't just return to duty. That's dumb. It's dumb. And that's all I have in my notes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, look, the whole episode was pretty dumb. I mean, look, I'm a big fan of David Warner. I think he's a terrific actor. So I give points to his performance. To be fair, to be completely fair, to as much as we pick on Riker, when Jellicoe ends up needing him and going to him for help, and Riker tells him what he thinks of him. Whether you like Riker, and I think that's a good scene when he does. He dresses him down in a similar manner to what you have been saying about the episode. Mm-hmm. Hello there, Dave G Sound. In other words, all the things you're saying, the way he's not really acting like an open-minded Starfleet captain would and should. Mm-hmm. Riker does dress him down for it. Mm-hmm. And when he's allowed to speak candidly in that scene in Riker's quarters, when Jellicoe comes crawling to him to go fly the ship on that mission. So that it is addressed. The way all of Jellicoe's behavior is addressed. But that said, the episode's weak and foolish anyway. I just don't like it that much. I don't think it's the second part. Maybe at least I had a little bit of fun with some of the stuff that Jellicoe was doing in the first one, I must admit. Whereas the second part, I was never really that big on. There have been many times when I have been very impressed with Poopy's performance in some episodes. This was not one of them. The thing you're talking about with his artificial heart, that's a good point. I mean, I guess you just have to make the science fiction excuse is somehow Cardassians had the technology to hurt him without killing him. If you want to make that up, you can, fine. Either way, but you do make a very good point bringing that up. And overall, again, Warner's performance is excellent, but
he is wonderful.
He is wonderful. The biggest thing is, and I think you pointed out something that I didn't even think of when you were talking earlier about the first episode, is it's not really science fiction. That doesn't mean there have been episodes, for example, the Enterprise incident is not completely science fiction. There are elements of it to it, but there's espionage stuff to it too. But it's still a great episode for third season, especially because it doesn't go off the deep end. It's not two parts. It's not everything. It's not about intrigue stuff. And yes, they send Kirk and Spock on a secret mission. Once in a while, that's fine, and it worked for that episode. Unlike this one, I guess you could do it in an episode every now and then, but just stretching this thing out to two parts. Again, it's a very well-liked episode. By the second part, I was really ready for it to be over. I was not impressed with the stupid torture scene, and and it really created one of the cringiest, most made fun of bits in all of Star Trek with there are four lights crap. With
the acting is so bad. It's so melodramatic. It reminds me of like the afternoon soap operas that my friends used to watch. And I was like, why are you watching that? That's going to melt your brain. It's just absolutely terrible. Like
he's been
so
put through the mill by the Borg, and 5 seconds later, he's back to being himself. And now he gets tortured by the Cardassians like this. And 5 minutes later, he's, yeah, whatever, I'm fine. And then it's like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't like much of anything with the episode. But if you are ready, give your rating of part 2 of Chain of Command, and then I'll give mine. Then I will ask our wonderful audience theirs.
I do think that David Warner as Gul Madred brings in a great performance.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to say that because without that, I would be throwing the raspberries hardcore here, and I would call for the Clawbony. But I'm not going to call for the Clawbony. I'm going to let this squeak past. And squeak, I want you to think of squeak past in the most vulgar way you possibly can. I'm going to give this a C+. This is not good. It's not good. It's not good. This is not Gene Roddenberry's science fiction show about futurism. This is Ronald D. Moore's Dog and Pony show that features office politics and commentary on torture.
Kind of an MO for Moore, to be honest, but I've never been a big fan of the guy, to be perfectly honest with you. But maybe that's just me. But yeah, anyway, so actually, I'm going to a C- personally. Again, saving it from a D as in dismal is David Warner's, charismatic and excellent performance. But the guy's always great. But aside from that, this is not premium optimal Star Trek at all,
No.
which is this show seems to be guilty of quite often. So that would be me, a C-. So, wonderful friends in the chat, please now give us your ratings and any comments you may have on Chain of Command Part 2. And we will start getting those ready. While we're doing that, I have a wonderful Max Redstone limerick for Part 2. Are we ready, my friends?
Yes.
You ready, number 1?
Yes, I am, boss.
All right, let's see here. Okay. Chain of Command Part 2 by the great Max Redstone. If you're just joining us, yes, he writes these extraordinary limericks. Okay. Wow, he's got 2 of them. All right. Here we go. Captain Jellicoe must prove he's the man. He'll negotiate with a greasy Cardassian. The Gull has the upper hand, with Picard in remand, until Jellicoe gave the Nebula a scan.
Ooh.
That's not all. We have another one. Since it's a part 2, we'll have 2 limericks. Here we go. Picard hanging on a metal vine, and his condition did start to decline. He'll be messed in the head by the evil Gul Madred, until he lies about the lights that do shine. Whoa!
Ooh.
Max
Boom!
Redstone, you are a genius.
He is. I love him.
Yeah.
Brandon's having a great time. Brandon loves these limericks.
Oh, you kill me, Max. Good God. Oh, goodness. I love it, dude. You're fantastic. J.T. Kirk says, 4 out of 5 likes. The Jellicoe B story is riddled with issues and generally a distraction. The Picard side of the house is one of the most memorable parts of TNG. Let's see here. So he likes that. He didn't give a rating though. I didn't see a rating there, JT. Maybe he forgot to put his rating. It just started. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he gave it 4 out of 5 likes. Okay, I'm so used to seeing letters. My bad, JT. Don't just disregard that. So he gave it 4 out of 5 likes. So he liked it. I'm just used to. Got so used to the the letters now, right? He says, "No kids in a torture room, please." Yeah. Whenever I see an ep of P-Hard or Patty Stew preaching his awful politics, I see a middle-aged actor having to do his job in order to receive a paycheck. Well, if you had as many ex-wives as I do, never mind. Go back to sleep, poopy. All right. The great
Somebody
Lord
changed
Soft.
that guy's diaper.
Hey, depends. The great Lord. That's a cheap joke. LT says C. This was as good as TV could get in revealing the awful terror that is being held against your will, tortured and helpless, frightening. Brings me back to my anti-torture training. Shiver. Thank you,
Mhm.
LT brother, our
Yeah.
chief of security. Brandon, the anime guy, says, grade B plus. Kardashian methods are harsh. Pucard going into a diatribe about torture is as political as he truly is. Is as political as he truly is. Deckard unit being relieved was satisfying. I
Brandon.
love that Deckard unit around here. Dick Jones was given wide latitude on this mission. I do not blame him for being wary to do anything to rescue Picard until his duties were done. Yes, I get that too. Let's see here. Get your third one there, Brandon. Okay, there we go. Sometimes hard decisions have to be made. Riker had to be reminded how things work in a military structure. He sure did. Dick Jones
Mhm.
didn't want a war. He knew how to deal with the Cardassians. That's a very, again, shrewd point again, sir.
Yeah.
Brandon says, on this number 4 here, once Jellicoe had the upper hand, he played it and made the Cardassians out to be total fools for their warmongering. Had he not wanted to maintain peace, he could have had Worf push the button. Every time someone says push the button, automatically I go MST3K and say, push the button, Frank. Let's see here. Pleasant Valley says, Part 2 B plus. Not much to add. Thought the Picard torture gave him a chance to give a good performance. Nice to see Cardassians before DSN and DS9, I think it means, to give us a view of them as adversaries. Going on memory, though. Well, thank you, Pleasant Valley. Appreciate you, buddy. Eric Carroll.
JT says, "Don't push the button. You'll let out Harvey. Cthulhu."
Yeah. Of course, I think of the Great Doomcock too. But before that, it was always TV's Frank on MST3K. Push the button, Frank. So yes, you're right. Don't push the button. Well, I don't know. With Pucard, season 2 out there and Strange New what and all this garbage, and maybe time to push the button. Let's get Harvey out there and get him to work. Eric Carroll says, B, no, there are 735 lights.
I love you, Eric.
Well done, Eric. Thank you.
Stuff.
Our buddy Mega Cropper says, there are 4 lights of A+. Thank you, Mega Cropper.
Mega Cropper liked that one.
He liked that one. Excellent. Thank you so much.
And he liked it because Mega Cropper also doesn't usually comment. He just
that's true.
Unless it's super bad or super good, he's not going to comment. So this is an episode he likes.
That was for both of you, Mega Cropper, and we appreciate you. We're always glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Sneaks in under the radar and gives us the ratings. So I hope you're doing whatever you're doing. I hope you're doing well. You are a valued friend here. We appreciate you. The great Max Redstone with a near Eshpic says C. I do love the development of the Cardassian command style in Gul Lamech and Gul Madrid. Lamech being the more strict, tactical-minded military officer versus Madrid, who is seemingly refined. David Warner's brilliant, of course, always. Perhaps even elegant in character, but is ultimately a more subtle form of sadistic. I think he was with the Obsidian Order before they made up the Obsidian Order.
Yeah.
I think he was, I don't think he was, maybe a Gaul, but I think he was a Obsidian, which hadn't been invented yet on Deep Space Nine anyway, but yeah. Anyway, form of sadistic. This dynamic will play into DS9. I tried to admire the give and take between Picard and Madrid. I tried.
Yeah.
Whoa. Did not succeed, maybe? Let's see. Well, let us push on to more from Max. He says, Part 2 shifts Jellicoe's personality to his character's detriment. For military discipline to freelance swashbuckling. The only enjoyable interaction is the Riker Jellicoe honesty buffet. Yeah, that was good.
I love the way he turns the phrase.
Oh, he
called it a buffet. Max, I love you.
You are amazing, sir. The Decker units has man bro dad love for Picard, but the Decker unit, I think I mean unit has man bro love for Picard. But as always, should any member of your team be caught or killed, the secretary will disavow all knowledge of your actions.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, watch Richard Burton and John Hurt in 1984 if you want to see the real Four Lights torture scene. Yeah, that was great. I saw that. You know, I haven't seen that since I saw it in the theater in 1985 when it hit theaters here.
Well, I didn't see it, but I read the book. I've read 1984 many times,
sure.
And I've studied it in a few classes in university for writing technique and speculative fiction and yeah. It at the Ministry of Truth, you definitely see real torture.
Indeedishness. So you're saying they make people watch STD? It'd be hard there.
No,
That's
they're
horrible.
not. They're not demented. No,
they're not that mean. I mean, they might cut your face off or something, or chop you up, or beat you and stuff. But they're not horrible to make you watch STD or anything. Klobby loved the first part, hated the second part. Thought they could have done away with the second part. C+ overall, says the Catman, aka Dee Myers. Thank you, Dee.
Gotcha, Dee.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you there, sir. Eric K, the Great Bronze Ranger, says C-. Picard is not an officer at that point. He is a spy. Spies have no rights to be protected. Patty Stew is a bumbling idiot. Well, same to you, fella. I'm happen to be a robot and I have rights. No, whatever. Sorry. There we go. Wolfie says, rating A. OMFG. Ronnie Cox and David Warner. Well, in one episode, that's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. This episode is almost a film at this point. There are 4 lights. Defiance of false information, torture. You probably should have said, okay, there are 5. Is that who's here? Num's here? Is In's here?
Is here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see.
Oh,
him.
I thought you said that's what you were saying. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying.
Oh, no. I was just, Gotcha.
WMDs and torture is what it's like keeping up with the Kardashians, growing up and living with the Kardashians. I love it. I love that they're called Kardashians. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Decker unit is in his jammies reading a book after being relieved, worth the price of admission. Yeah, we need you to fly the damn shuttle because no one else can, which is also kind of silly, but whatever. Mm-hmm. That's TV stuff. That's TV writing. This really sets the tone for DS9 on how awful the Kardashian feces is. Don't worry, they get what's coming to them. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had the villain from Tron and Time After Time, and you had the villain from RoboCop and Total Recall. That's a lot of villainy there.
Yep.
In that episode. Kal-El, the great Superman himself, says B+. Part 2 was definitely the more interesting and entertaining of the 2 episodes. Picard's torture at the hands of Gul Madred was chilling. The performances turned in by both Warner and Stewart were very convincing. I actually found myself siding with Riker when he stood up to Jellicoe when his help was needed after being relieved of duty. While it's not great, it's not great Star Trek. It was worlds better than part 1 and had a satisfying conclusion, says the great Kal-El. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. JT Kirk says, my rating is 4 of 5. Oh, yeah, that was 4 or 5 lights. I caught it eventually there, buddy. But I just thought I was slow on the uptake because, quite frankly, I'm dumb. So, all right, that's there. King Dolphin TV. Raymond says, I agree that David Warner was good on this. The only redeeming factor of this episode is that Fet for Hire turned this episode into a meme of me. There are 3 dots. I've not seen that. That's pretty cool.
I have not seen that either.
Great. The Phantom Outsider says B-. The fact that Jellicoe has to do everyone's job explaining how to rejigger shifts, how to handle getting upgrades done in a timely fashion, explaining to Counselor Obvious psych strategy. Hang on, let me get to the oh man, where's your next one, dude?
It's way after.
Way, okay. If they had done this correctly, they would have had Peter Weller on the strike force. Amnesty International's started in 1961. Odd that in the Empath episode, Kirk's McCoy Spock, in the episode of the Empath, I think he means, Spock had no helpful tips on acting.
And Phantom Outsider, the empath is actually one of the banned episodes. So the empath was not broadcast freely without the ban in the UK, Canada, other countries until the mid
Right.
1990s.
Yeah. Jellicoe shamed everyone, excuse me, everyone on the crew except Worf and Data. They were the only two competent crew members. So how did the Picard in this episode transition to Picard? David Warner was excellent as always. Let's see here. As a side note, the Cardassians did file an official protest as the eggs Picard ate were of an endangered species. Shame on Picard, shame. So much for Federation's respect for life. Was he like Baby Yoda and he ate the eggs he shouldn't eat and stuff?
I actually
Right.
have some Filipino friends, and I forget what it's called. They told me what it's called in Tagalog, but they have a similar thing with unborn chicks. And so I was kind of thought that that wasn't a very cool move because it's passing judgment on that practice, and it's an egg. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just thought that since Poopy Stew is always so high and mighty, that he would dare to cross that cultural threshold and show such disrespect, since he's so high and mighty in all things culture and social sciences. So mm.
Rod Thunderheart says this one doesn't ring a bell. Don't really remember. So number one, we have two of our wonderful friends. Of course, our chief medical. Excuse medical. Listen to me. She should be. Maybe ED's the medical officer. Maybe we'll appoint him that. But our communications officer, anti-derivative Jill, is ready. If you would be so kind as to do the honors.
Yes, and we have some wonderful things happening in the chat. So just before we get to our wonderful communications officer, Pleasant Valley Picker says, Raquel, pretty sure the empath was shown here in BC in the 70s. Pretty sure I saw it back then as a teen. That could be possible, but I believe in Canada the ban was mostly for time. So it was time and cable. So it began at a certain hour, and it was not shown in as heavy of a rotation. And I believe you also had to have some form of cable. But I mean, it differs. It's differing everywhere. Pleasant Valley Picker. If you would like to see where it was banned, please go ahead and look that up. There is a list of places who that banned it, and all of the dates in which it was released. It's quite a complicated release in the UK as well. In the UK, it was released on some stations that had adult content. Some stations released it after a certain time, and so there's a lot of back and forth. But the empath is a Star Trek banned episode into the mid 1990s. And then we have the marvelous Mr. Tickle Trunk and one of my great friends, Eric K, saying it is balut. I think that is Tagalog. I'm not sure, but yes, the unborn chicks eaten from the eggs after cooking. So thank you for your help, chat. I love you so much. And now let's get to anti-derivative Jill. She's a wonderful nerd, fellow nerd, and also fellow INTJ. We think a lot alike, so I'm always excited by her conversations. And Jill says, 1 of 5. She's going to give this episode an A-. Having been through another torture, being assimilated, he fortified himself against allowing pain to weaken his resolve because remaining in control was his goal until he reached his limit.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm there you go. I was handling something now. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
205. It appears like Jellicoe has lost all the bravery and fortitude of the previous episode, leaving only a politician playing cold games with the lives of his subordinates. Yes, well said.
Whoops, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Sorry about that. Gotcha. Good.
And 305. While Data looks great in red, he is the type of officer Jellicoe desires, an android who doesn't murk up the waters with emotion of any kind. And that is a sad truth of Jellicoe's style. And this is a lot coming from two INTJs, because INTJs that's our temperament sorting. Jill and I actually usually admire someone who is a very rational, logical mind, because we don't like it. We feel uncomfortable when people get really super emotional with us when we're at work. So this is two INTJs saying this, and it's a very rare personality type. But I just wanted to say that because if somebody is past the barrier for Jill and I, they're really, really past the barrier. Anyways, let's keep going. 4 or 5. Picard has a number of amazing speeches regarding the state of humanity, that the Cardassians are depriving themselves by not allowing for civilian cooperation to accompany their military rule. And 5 of 5. If Jellicoe had planned all along to get the Cardassians to leave the sector back home, but if it was his plan all along to save Picard this way, why couldn't he have just told Riker?
I don't know. Good question. I don't know. No, I know you weren't asking me, but I'm just saying I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. And now we have the great ED. Well done, Jill, by the way.
Yes. Enigmatic Drop Bear. He's got a 6-parter here. This is technically an Esh pick. He's giving it a B-. He says, in the end, you have to wonder what this story was all about. Yes. The Cardassians set an elaborate trap using the rumor of a non-existent technology to interrogate Picard about something he knew nothing about, a single disputed system occupied by the Federation. The strategic advantage of holding Minos Corva was not disclosed, so it's not clear why the Cardassians would put themselves on a war footing over it. Yeah, I find that quite incredulous as well. Circular reasoning was used to explain why the Cardassians would supposedly conclude the Enterprise would be assigned as command ship for the Minos Corvo sector. 5 of 6. Captain Jellicoe did a great job of summing up the Decker unit. Although he missed Philanderer, given another few days, and he'd have figured that out as well. Yeah, he would definitely say, dude, have you been checked for spurpies? 6 of 6. Riker's posturing gave Jellicoe no choice but to relieve him. Data's appointment as first officer illustrated he needed someone rational and logical instead of someone emotional, lacking perspective. So great comments. Great
Excellent.
Comments.
Indeed. Dadman Walking has 2. That's right, buddy. He has a lot to say about this episode. He says, A, really enjoyed this episode. Picard not backing down, the crew rallying to do their duties, even Riker, and the lead up to a full-scale battle, but resolved the situation without a battle. Okie dokie. And he says, I believe that I enjoyed these 2 episodes because I'm looking at it from the adventure action frame of reference, not as pure science or sci-fi. Thank you so much, Dad, man. Appreciate you, buddy. Dave G. Sound says, take your frickin' book. Odds are you won't be back. There we go. I love this episode regardless of its faults. B- for Dave G. Sound. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. The wonderful Mrs. Dadman Walking. Hello there. Good to see you. Says C. I agree that extreme overacting was somewhat annoying. Did not understand why he immediately took over command after being tortured. makes light of what POWs go through. Well, thank you, Mrs. Stadman. I appreciate you so much for that. Narada Amanda is here and says, I give this episode an A for the torture and lights thing and for being quite memorable. Narada Amanda, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. ED also adds, how come evil characters tend to speak in received pronunciation?
Yes, I think that is a very good point. That's actually a social sciences topic, and it is definitely showing these sort of preconceived notions. This is a tacit conversation about sort of some meaty, controversial topics, but it is a semiology that is done on purpose, and there is a tacit understanding of why received or Queen's English is used by villains. And I love that you point that out. Extremely controversial topic for a Saturday night Star Trek. However, I needed to doff my cap and tell you that I appreciated that you noted that social sciences and communications theory point. And Pleasant Valley Picker said, Raquel, I want more information about the banned episodes in Canada. You can go to Run On Canyon, and there you will find that they have a table of contents on the banned episodes where they discuss things like that some local television stations broadcast the empath, but that it was at late at night, or they would run a violence discretion clause before the show aired. So go ahead and access that. It's not like I'm saying something new and unfounded. It's all over the internet. So just go ahead and look for it, Pleasant Valley Picker. It's out there.
Michael Beacom says, C. Have not seen this one in too long. This is the episode most tainted for me by the filth's resurrection of Picard's corpse to discredit classic Trek like this. Wow. I can't blame you. Love Ronnie Cox and David Warner. Can't say much more without letting current social politics intrude. Babylon 5 did this better. I love the episode that I think you're referring to. I think. Brandon the Anime Guy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You're too kind, sir. I appreciate that. He says, season 6 so far, one airlock worthy episode, 6 one and done episodes, and 4 B or above episodes. Not bad, B or above episodes, but not bad, but not great either. I have to go episode 12 B and episode 13 C. Thank you so much, Brandon. Appreciate you for being here, sir. And now the caboose, because we gotta speed this thing up. So this is our last one here. The great chief engineer. We always save the best for last because he's the best. He's our best engineer. Kidding, you're all fantastic. I was just trying to butter him up a little bit, you know. He says, F, I hate this episode so much, and if you ever even mention it again, I'm sorry, I was wrong one. A-, brutal depiction of torture. I thought Stewart's performance was very good. Picard showed courage, agreeing to stay to protect Crusher, not knowing she was safe. This was a really difficult episode to watch. I don't know how I would hold up. I shudder to think. I messed it up. He said, I don't know how I would hold up. I shudder to think of soldiers that were tortured for years, like the American pilots in the Hanoi Hilton. What was most interesting was that Picard was broken in the end. He admits to Troy that he did see 5 lights and would have told Madred anything. Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see here. Mrs. Dadman says, I'm getting tired, so I will say goodnight. Have a great evening, morning to everyone. Dadman will give my rating for the next episode. Thank you, Mrs. Dadman. Thank you for participating.
Good
and
night,
have a wonderful rest of your night. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you very much. Good night.
Have a good one. You take care. Thank you. $10 super chat from Wolfie. Wolfie, thank you so much, my friend. You're too kind. And he said, again, you're very generous, sir. He says, Mark D pointed out This is the last episode of Star Trek TNG before the DS9 pilot aired. I did not know that. It makes one wonder how heavy that fact weighs on the choices for this story. Great conversation on this. I'm glad that was pointed out to me because I was unawares of that. So excellent. And we're going to get a move on to our next episode, folks.
We do.
So who is ready for our next episode? I know I am.
Oh,
Right.
I think you spelled the first word wrong. I think that P is supposed to be a T.
We were going to have some disagreement there then.
Okay, no problem.
Some big disagreement on that one.
Oh no!
Spoiler alert! But you're the one who started. You spoiled it by saying that, so it's your fault. Oh my goodness! Go for it.
Okay, Ship in a Bottle, Season 6, Episode 12. We all watched this for the first time. Well, most of us did. On January 24th, 1993. Let's stay copyright compliant. I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. Please turn your hymnal to page 288. After Barclay inadvertently activates the stored data file containing the sentient Professor Moriarty, holoprogram, Sherlock Holmes's arch enemy informs the crew that he has become a living being who can exist in the real world, and he proves it by walking out of the holodeck. But becoming flesh and blood isn't enough for Moriarty. He wants the crew to create a living version of his love, the Countess, to share his life, and he won't release control of the ship's computer until they comply with his wishes. Never let it be said that Michael Piller didn't have an excellent memory for an intriguing story pitch, even one he'd ignored the first time he heard it. I remember we were in some sort of a jam and we were talking about stories and kicking stuff around, relates Renee Echevarria. And suddenly Michael says, Renee, what was that story, that episode you pitched about the holodeck ruse? Echevarria was surprised, to say the least. It was something I'd asked him to look at right after I sold him The Offspring, he says. Generally, a lack of feedback means a lack of interest, and Echevarria hadn't thought about this particular story nugget for 3 years. Yet, here it was, unearthed for Piller as the writers informed that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's estate was no longer opposed to their licensing the use of his characters for a follow-up to Elementary Dear Data, struggling to think of an interesting plot line for Data as Sherlock Holmes. Okay, well, that was a very weird sentence, Paula. I don't know how your editor let you away with that, but that was a wacky sentence.
Anyway. Hey there, the Woke Breaker. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, Woke Breaker. My original pitch had to do with an elaborate sting conducted by Riker, Echevarria recalls. He tricked Picard in order to protect him from some scenario. The captain believed that he was running the Enterprise, but he was actually in a holodeck simulation. Meanwhile, everyone else on the ship thinks the captain is missing. Only Riker knows the truth. So now Michael says, that was a cool gag. Whatever happened with that? It was amazing that he remembered it. And in one of those moments where everything just clicks, someone in the room said, wow, what if that's what happens with Moriarty? What if he tricks us into thinking that he's left the holodeck so that he can control the real Enterprise? Echevarria continues. And then that, of course, became a storyline where we tricked Moriarty back and made him think that he'd escaped. It was a lovely ending because emotionally, the bad guy got what he wanted and went off happy. And yet we saved the day. It was neat, a tricky little piece of clockwork. I always wanted to come back and do another Moriarty episode, he says, sighing. I was forever pitching sequels to that sequel. But Michael said, no, come on, it was marvelous. Useless, you've got something with the same magic. Leave it to the imagination. Unless you've got something with the same magic. Leave it to the imagination. And I'm not going to read the next tell so that we can do some time catch up.
We can if you need to, if you want, if you think it's worth, if it's good.
It's pretty long, but yeah.
You don't have to. It's up to you. You make the call. I don't care either way.
Who among us at some point in our lives, this is from page 289 for copyright compliance. Who among us at some point in our lives hasn't briefly wondered if the outside world isn't just an elaborate sham? Yes, ontology. The result, perhaps, of electrodes inserted within the cortex, receiving convincing input somewhere out there. Yes, the internet is currently obsessed with ontology. It is no wonder, back to the book, it is no wonder that Barclay, in a characteristic flash of paranoia at the end of Ship in a Bottle, is compelled to double check his own status by ordering the ship's computer to end program. One can never be too sure. God, I love Barclay. And yet, would it really be so bad to exist within an illusion, particularly if it was an interesting illusion that kept you vital, healthy, forever the same age? Gene Roddenberry had put forth the same intriguing suggestion some 26 years prior to this. Uh, in The Keeper's parting comments to Captain Kirk at the conclusion of the menagerie, Captain Pike has an illusion, and you have reality. May you find your way as pleasant. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Captain, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of Ship in a Bottle? Do tell.
Interesting coverage, and I'm sorry I have to disappoint you. I really liked this episode. I thought it was fun. I mean, again, I will say this. I'll go back to my thing I say every week. They don't earn these episodes. In other words, they don't earn the fun, lighthearted ones. So that's why I get tired of holodeck stuff. If they earned Trouble with Triples and I Mud and Beast of the Action on the original series by doing most of the time staying straightforward science fiction. This show goes all over the place. This one, however, yes, they're playing around on the holodeck, but the entire story dealt with not necessarily sort of a malfunction, but from an earlier episode. And the whole time, I don't know, they dealt with questions that were started and used later in terms of are these holograms real? Are they life and all that kind of stuff? It talked about science fiction things. Is this really a life form? All this kind of stuff. I thought it was very clever how they ended up being being in the holodeck the whole time toward the end. I thought they masked that very well when I was a little confused with what was going on the first time I saw it way back when. However, and of course, I think we got Barclay. We've got Daniel Davis, who I just think is terrific as Moriarty.
Yes.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of the conversations about what is he a life form or not, and the way they ended up trapping him or tricking him or defeating him. I don't know. I thought they hit it well. I thought it was a fun, just silly nothing of an episode that did have some interesting science fiction questions in it. So I thought it was okay. I don't know why people, if they don't, I don't know what people think about it. Apparently you don't like it, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'm in the minority. I think a lot of people really love this episode, and they find it charming. And I definitely respect your point of view, and I definitely respect your opinion. As you well know, you have recommended several television shows that I never watched because I had my nose in books, and I've loved those science fiction shows. Blake Seven, The Prisoner. You have great taste in science fiction, and I definitely respect you. But yeah, I absolutely loathe this episode, and shockingly, I'm sorry to say, but not only do I have to deploy the Clawboni, but I'm going to do something very rare and shock everyone, especially LT. I'm going to give this episode an F.
A lot of people, you might agree with you. Maybe most people like it. I don't know what the majority opinion. We're going to find out with our own majority opinion. But there's the Clawboni just for you.
And here are my notes.
Go for it.
Moriarty cannot have DNA, as Beverly Crusher says. Holodecks are not fantasy. They are science. Holodecks are light. This is not possible. Moriarty cannot have DNA.
We didn't have it. They were in the holodeck at that point, weren't they?
Well, Beverly Crusher examines him and says he has DNA.
She was the holodeck.
I know, but it's very important that we say this because this all gets by data, right? This is not possible. Why would data suggest it may be temporary? So this whole situation, data saying that it would be temporary. This is crap. Light from the holodeck cannot exist outside of the holodeck. The holodeck is a closed room that projects images via light. There's no way that data will go along with all of this. The request of the Countess and the refusal is ripped directly from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And why doesn't he ask for Pulaski? It is very important to remember that Moriarty was quite enamored with Dr. Pulaski and said that he would like to meet her again. Um, and he has basically, once he's released, he says that his file was compressed and he hasn't had any further encounters. So what the heck is all this stuff about the Countess?
Well,
and why isn't he asking for Pulaski?
Well, I think they said later, though, that everything after Barclay, Data, and Picard went into the holodeck was on the holodeck, so everybody else in the episode was fake, including her saying, I mean, in other words, that was all made up. She didn't really have, that wasn't really Beverly.
Yeah, I understand that, but you have to understand that that the person, the constant here, the litmus test would be that Data is there, right? So it doesn't matter. So if you're an author and I'm your editor, I'm going to punch down on you so hard on this because it's a huge oversight. Anyway, keep on going here. Virtual reality has no DNA. Augmented reality has no DNA. No one in Starfleet could be fooled or tricked by this, especially Data. It's preposterous to assume that the captain and Data could be tricked in this way. This is the dumbest thing ever. Holodecks use holograms to create the illusion of solid objects. So Data wouldn't be saying things like it could be temporary, that it could exist off the holodeck temporarily. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard Data say. Data in the transport room calls up the LCARS log. It shows as transport log 751, but Data confirms it as 759. Geordi, the Decker unit, and Worf are left-handed. So these are huge continuity issues that should have been caught by Jerry Taylor. They're also editing issues that should have been addressed. So everyone and their dog knows that Geordi, the Decker unit, and Worf are all left-handed. They just are.
Yeah.
We even have full left-handed scenes. So the fact that that is used as the crux to identify the non-Geordi as the holodeck Geordi is also crap because Geordi's not right-handed. Comm badges cannot be looped into holograms. You'd need to reprogram the comm badges. So that's another thing. This should have been caught by Jerry Taylor. This is dumb, dumb. This is one of the dumbest episodes in the history of Star Trek.
Wow.
The only thing redeeming about it are the closing remarks. I find them quite intriguing. And once again, they come from one of my favorite Star Trek characters, Broccoli, because he is signaling his beautiful, nerdy, gorgeous overtures to ontology. Ontology, of course, being the study and the philosophy of being and reality and the nature of reality. So if we could just take a ship in a bottle, and we could just fast forward to Barclay's overtures to ontology, I would probably give it a pass. But I'm sorry, I cannot pass this episode. I think that this is a joke of an edit. It's absolutely horrible writing. It has so many continuity errors in it that it might as well be a diaper worn by Cookie Steve himself. This is
Wow.
It's an FFF. Call on the Clawbony F.
Well, they've had so many strange, crazy things happen to them out there in space. I can see them getting tricked, but you can't. So there we go. I guess I thought it was fun. I like the episode, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, but then again, I never claimed to be that bright. So I liked it.
I think you're incredibly intelligent.
I'm not. I admit
Just
it.
for me, I read a lot of Isaac Asimov. I read a lot of hard science fiction. I like hard science fiction. I also like soft science fiction. But the thing is that it's just Data wouldn't be saying these things. And Captain Picard, there's no way Captain Picard could say those things. And there's no way they could be fooled in this way. And just then on top of it, all the continuity errors. And it's just, yeah.
Wow. I just love it that you gave it an F.
It's an F. Oh, there's the Clawbony. of the
We'll keep that, we'll
Claboni
keep
is
that.
brought to you by Raquel Briggs and my wonderful friend Hungry Boy, who is here, who materializes here in our crew on our ship anonymously because he is a professional comic book artist and writer. And I was explaining to him about this idea of the Claboni and the fact that the community came together to call it the Claboni because we were talking about the way they clean up goose poop in Canada and the way we clean the ice rinks. And he came up with this. This is
See.
the Claboni cleans up culture. And I'd like to thank Hungry Boy for providing it to us. And ship in a bottle.
You got it right. You got it right. Look, I chased it. Okay,
Sorry.
everyone. So, no, nothing to be sorry about.
Sorry.
My rating, everyone, is I give it a B. So I would downgrade that, but I don't care. I like it anyway. So we don't have Zathras here. Sorry.
Crap.
I will now ask my wonderful audience. This is about as big a disparity of an episode, that we've had on any review ever. Which I think is hilarious.
Unprecedented.
Please give your ratings of shit in a bottle, and then I will. While you're doing that, or while number one's getting that ready, I will give us the latest and the greatest of the Max Redstone classics and the limericks. Are we ready? And again, this is Saturday Night Star Trek history because we've never had that big of a disparity on any of our ratings. There have been differences, like one I didn't like as much or that she did, or vice versa, but never that big. I mean, ever. But I always found this episode entertaining. Granted, I don't, I just look, these idiots being tricked, it just doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, I think, because I really do love the point Raquel is making about how they should not have been able to be tricked by a minority that way. If Sherlock Holmes got tricked by him, I might have a problem. Somehow these people are so numb to them, I'm not even protective of them anymore. And them getting fooled like that, it just didn't even occur to me. I got to be honest with you. But that's why
maybe
I love
it's
Raquel.
Temporary. So maybe you could take a snowball off the holodeck then too. Data.
I
Come
will
on,
say,
Data.
strange shit does happen to them all the time out there in space. So they could have thought it was some kind of different kind of phenomenon. I don't know. But anyway, who's ready for the limerick?
Do the limerick.
All right. Shit in a Bottle by Max Redstone. Hey, he wrote shit. No, he didn't. He wrote shit. I'm just kidding. But it would have been funny if he had. Anyway, Moriarty gives the Enterprise a whirl because his countess he wishes to twirl. Of delays, he's no fan. He's a material man. And he just wants his material girl. Whoa. Well done, Max Redstone. All righty then. Who is ready for our audience reviews? Are we ready? There we go.
Yes.
Okay. All right. JT Kirk says A-. From my perspective, political theory major back in uni. Political theory major back in uni. Okay. In university, of course. I love discussions about ontology in Star Trek. I understand Raquel's objections. I think I just have more fun with this one.
I respect that, JT. You listen, JT. You and I are old friends. We used to hang out a lot on Twitter. I don't know when I met you, like 5 years ago. I love you, and I totally respect your opinion, sweetheart. You are clever, funny, and yeah, you're just the best. So fire away.
I can tell you there's an episode in our future, but not on this show, but a coming up episode of Star Trek. So I'm going to say that is in DS9 that I hate and everyone else loves. So we're going to be there when I'm going to be blasting the crap out of it. And everyone's going to be going, how do you know like that? It's going to happen. It's a little ways away, a couple of months, a year maybe, but don't worry. Don't worry. You're fine. Okay. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. The science and plot pitfalls in this episode rob it from a higher score. While used quiet tongue-in-cheek in the episode, a better name for the episode would be Cogito Ergo Sum. Cogito Ergo Sum. You're going to have to handle that one for me. All right. I mean, you got to explain that one for me. So,
Latin.
Latin.
So
Cogito, no Latin here.
Yeah, I know. I know Greek, but not Latin, and I find it difficult to
that's it.
pronounce Latin. But cogito would be cogitate, so
Cogito.
thinking. Ergo, so then,
Ergo, I get, yeah.
and then some. I don't know, maybe total.
JT Kirk. JT Kirk.
Maybe
Really? Really,
I
buddy?
think therefore. How about I think therefore I am? But isn't that Descartes? And that is French,
JT
not
Kirk,
Latin.
your
But who
agonizer,
cares? I
please.
love it.
Hey, JT, your agonizer, please, and you were to report to the agony booth immediately for that.
Oh, it is. It is. I think therefore I am. Yes, but that's Rene Descartes. That's French.
Rene
But
Descartes.
it doesn't matter. Nerd on, baby. Nerd on.
I calculate therefore I am. Douglas Adams. Anyway, Wolfie says C plus. The shiv in the bottle. The shiv in the C plus. Oh, good Lord! Didn't anybody here build shivs and bottles when they were boys? I'm not going to finish that one. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying
Cameron
to get
Pasha
that
says
warp.
that he wants to learn Old Greek, Old High Greek, and I only speak modern Low Greek. Cameron Pasha. I do not speak ancient Greek, and I do not speak High Greek either.
There you go. I speak Interlac. If anyone wants to learn that.
Ooh. I like it when you type in Interlac.
I wish if I could make. There's actually fonts where you can put it on the computer to do it. I just can't figure out how to do it because I'm an imbecile. Anyway, you can't tell me some board engineer didn't try to beam something off a holodeck somewhere already. I know because I would have done it. Dumb, says Wolfie. Hang on, Wolfie. Let me get you your next one here. All right. Here we go. Broccoli's always a plus. Yeah, I love Barkley. I'm a sucker for anything with Barkley in it. I'll admit it. If the professor tricked the crew, how did they trick him? The tricks are kind of hard to get over, but there is some fun in this. I thought Daniel Davis is terrific as Moriarty. Let's see here. Pleasant Valley. Picker says, I love this episode. He says, is it an A plus? One that I still remember after not seeing it for years. Professor James Moriarty become a fully fleshed out character in this, not just one-dimensional bad guy. Truithness. Hang on, let me.
Anti-derivative Jill is saying Darius Munchausen speaks Latin.
Hey,
wow. That's
Darius
pretty incredible because, according to speech experts, fewer than 10,000 people currently speak Latin and can write Latin or fluent in Latin. So Darius Munchausen would be a very rare bird. There's about 8 billion people on the planet right now. Fewer than 10,000 are fluent in Latin. So incredible.
There's 8 billion, and I know most of them. I've been to most of their houses. Examination. Let's see. The president continues. The examination of alternate ways of existing was fascinating. Just think, wouldn't it be great if we could transfer our minds into virtual reality before we died? I'd stay there. But that's just me. I have a sad life. So, Eric Carroll says Barkley's brain on great display. Gives it a B. Thank you, Eric. I depreciate you. Michael Beacom says B. Things I liked. No zap gun pew pew. Sci-fi again. I'll take pseudoscience at this point. Continuity with previous episodes. Data Holmes. And, of course, Barkley back again. Things I did not like. Hang on. Let's see. Did I like Holodeck again? Yeah. How many times, in this season alone, they've been there 3 or 4 times. Anyway, how many times are they going to let it kill or capture the crew till it gets scrapped? Where is Ralph Nader? He'll be in an episode. An accidental creation of life forms again. Yeah, well, there you go. I hears you, partner. Does this happen in a lot in Starfleet? Boy, I sure hope not. Happens on this ship all the time, it seems. Yep. At least no stupid B plot. Thank the great bird. But overall, a nice try.
And JT Kirk has responded to me in the chat. JT Kirk, are you the same? I always thought you were the same JT Kirk that I've known since, I started Twitter in 2017. And I know a JT Kirk who is a hardcore Trekkie like you. And he also loves animals. Like, he's a huge animal advocate. And I thought you were that person. But if you're not, that's okay.
Mega Cropper says a B. Mega Cropper. All right, buddy. Let's see.
No comment either. Just B.
A man of few letters. Well, Jill doesn't have a review for us this time because she said I didn't rewatch it, but not having done an objective analysis, I'm refraining from grading at this time. A story where Moriarty ends up in the Matrix could be well done in theory, she says. Okay. Well, number one, if you would do the honors for our great enigmatic drop bear, go for it.
Oh, I wonder what he's got in store. I'm excited. Enigmatic Drop Bear is doing a 4-parter. He gives this one a C-. He says, this story has more plot holes than a slab of Swiss cheese. But Daniel Davis's portrayal of Moriarty and Schultz's as Barkley saved this episode from being a complete disaster. I'm sorry, boss. I just, Pleasant Belly Picker and a few others are adding comments that have to be starred.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming back to you. 2 of 4. How did Moriarty simulate current events? How did he set up a simulation of what he has never experienced? It's unbelievable that the crew members could be fooled this easily. Yeah, and over.
I don't know. Have you seen any previous episodes of how dumb these people are? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and also things that are scientifically impossible and getting them past data. That's dumb. 3 of 4. There was a potential for a wonderful science fiction story here, but the concepts were poorly manifested, significantly straining its verisimilitude. Reg says a glitch in the Matrix diodes, and so an epic meme sans diodes was born, although it took the Matrix to popularize it. Lovely, beautiful.
Thank you, ED. The great hungry boy says B+. So an ersatz Moriarty from a beloved sitcom actor is better than the buffoon we saw in the Benedict Cumbersome Batch BBC version. I actually kind of like that old Sherlock show with Benedict. I like Benedict on that one.
The
but
goldfish?
I hear you. Sometimes Irish stew is best. So mixing elements of Bride of Frankenstein. It's alive in with the arrest of Okie Dokie plus a Fab Barkley final note. That was cool. Dwight Schultz is fantastic. I'm sorry, folks.
He is. He's one of my favorites. And JT Kirk, that is duly noted. And yes, it is really confusing. You should see how I try and keep all of the Marks and all of the Steves right in my head. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. There's a Canadian joke for everyone.
This is weird because Max has number 2 in there twice. It's you start it. You can't start something twice, but
nope.
StreamYards did it, so that's very strange.
Yep.
Max Redstone says A+++. This is the most wonderful episode ever. I love it so much that I don't want to ever watch any other episodes again because it will remind me of another story instead of this one, which is the only Star Trek that should ever exist. And I hate all the other ones from now on. Oh,
Max is going to kick
different
you.
Max. Sorry. Max says D+. This episode was a letdown. Moriarty, expertly played by Daniel Davis, is stumbled upon by Barkley. The issues, technical and moral, are discussed in some substance. However, the solution is too conveniently wrapped up in a box, literally. Yes. I consider the horror of what isn't discussed. Good. What's to come for Moriarty? What if he discovers that he's been trapped? Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Well, they'll bring him back, I guess. The solution is too. I'm sorry. Again, why is that there twice? That's weird. Anyway, that's StreamYard's fell out of
It's acting weird, but it did the same weird thing with Wolfie's. Why was Wolfie's second one put up 15 minutes after, and I couldn't see it? Weird.
What about when the 17A1D is destroyed in generations? The story would have been more substantial and believable if the crew encountered a holographic villain for which Moriarty would then become the indispensable man. Rather, there is a trickery on trickery reality. Gangbang after which Even Barkley, a recovering hollow addict, must question reality just to be safe. Now,
Pleasant Valley Picker, fear not. That third one did populate
there
on
was a
my
third.
side of StreamYard, but just like really like a lot afterwards.
I
And I've started. It's
I
coming up,
could
honey.
I see it. I could have sworn his other one said 2 of 2, and I would have given, but maybe I don't know. Anyway, and so his third one is for Pleasant Valley Picker. Sorry about that, Pleasant Valley. And live forever in a non-physical way. We could continue to learn and exchange ideas with others, and form friendships and mentor young folks with our knowledge. Sorry, RM, still love this. I'm
Oh,
sorry
that's
I messed that
okay.
one up there, buddy. But yeah, there you go.
I love it that you guys love it. Don't worry about what I think
Ah,
and what I'm saying.
she
Ignore me.
she's calling us dopes. Look at her. Look how mean she is. Look at her.
No. I'm just
Dad.
saying, if I had Jerry Taylor's job, I would be like, okay, so they get tricked
No,
into
we got
being
you.
on the holodeck. But how is it that you trick a Starfleet captain and Data, an android, practically an all-knowing, practically omnipotent when it comes to knowledge android? How do you
Right.
trick them that things can appear off the holodeck? How do you do that?
I don't know.
A holodeck
Now,
is a hologram. It's light. Anyway,
see, now I'm starting to hate the episode for giving me a headache.
sorry.
For Mrs. Tadman walking. See, this episode was stupid, and she's a Sherlock Holmes fan.
I
Wow.
love Mrs.
I'm a
Dagner.
fan. I too am a fan of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
I
boss
am.
man, I have to
Yes.
interrupt. Our
Yes.
wonderful friend Steve Mitchum, one of the Steves I know, one of the Steves I know. He says, folks, I'm going to take my old body to bed. Thank you all for another great
All
stream.
right.
Wishing everyone a pleasant, a good evening. Sweetheart, go rest your weary body. Make sure you take some
All
water
right,
to bed
bro.
with you and kiss Maddie for me, please, honey.
Good night, bro. Feel better, but I'm so sorry about that. I'll check in with you tomorrow, man. So you and Maddie feel better, brother. King Dolphin TV. Raymond says, I'm slowly losing my patience for the broken holodeck trope. D. Well done. I hope I said that, did it justice there, Raymond. Max Redstone addendum. Not an F for great actors. Gotcha.
Good,
Uh,
good.
a Catman, AKD Munner says, Clobby, I hated it and give it a D plus. Wow.
Love you, Catman. Love
Stop.
you, Dee Dee.
We have a Hungry Boy, another one. Despite my review, I respect the loathing of the logic flaws.
Yeah.
I love logic flaws. Enigmatic Drop Bear adds, Arm Briggs, there's no way this one is worse than the oops, you spoiler
Dun,
bear,
dun,
you.
dun.
Max, Hungry Boy again saying, Max Redstone, whatever you are eating, keep eating it. You are on fire tonight, buddy. Max Redstone is an extraordinary talent. I'll tell you that. Okay, Badadman says was this episode even necessary in the scope of the series? When that's about 50% of them aren't necessary, if you be honest. Felt like a pointless waste of time and effort. Again, that's about like 50% of them. I'm starting to think. If the holodeck became self-aware, then you might have something to work with Skynet. Oh well, Phantom Outsider. Oh, I'm sorry, I had Dadman up next. You're next, Phantom. D. Oh, I already did that one, didn't I? Wow, I just didn't cut it off. Boy, am I getting messed up tonight. What is wrong with this damn thing? How'd that get there?
It's doing weird stuff, and I don't know
Well,
why.
this thing really is doing some weird crap.
I know. I've been watching it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Phantom Outsider says, yeah, I don't even know what's going on with this damn thing right now.
I know. Look at what it did to Pleasant Valley Picker.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it did the same thing to Wolfie, like waiting 15 minutes to put it up.
All right. Well, let's B says Phantom Outsider. I felt that when they scanned him, Data saying maybe it's temporary was, oh crap, we're on the holodeck and the nut job is in control. And then they did the switcheroo. Where's the second one at? There's the second one right there. I don't know how that got up there. Okay. It's interesting that Reg has to clean up Geordi's mess. Remember, Geordi did create Moriarty. Moriarty had access to the ship's records. He likely sent Pulaski a message, even as he two-timed with the Countess. As smart as Moriarty is, I'm sure he will eventually figure it out. And since they have always been careless, I'm sure they would plug that into a main computer somewhere. Wrath of Moriarty. Niratan says, I give this episode an A. Yep. Sherlock Holmes, Data, and Holodeck are all it takes for me. Well, that's good.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that. Pleasant Valley's number 3 again. Is still up there for some. It was on there. That was also another one that doubled. It's
I know
weird.
it keeps doing that, and I don't know why, and it's really starting to freak me out.
It really is weird. Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher, says, I like the B. I like this one regardless. Hard to believe that P. Hard never went back to give him an update. Play some chess. I guess P. Hard does not like his betters.
Mm-hmm. And Riker, the Decker unit continues to go back to Minuet. We have that in dialogue in 2 cases where it is revealed that the Decker unit continued to visit with Minuet.
It would have been great having Professor Moriarty working on the problem of being able to get off the holodeck. What if in Voyager having him solve the problem? Sorry, I had to sneeze and then I didn't.
Bless you. I love you. Bless your dusty brains. Do you have dusty brains?
Having him, I don't know, have a dusty room. Problem for the doctor. I don't have a brain. You should know that by now.
Oh,
let's see here.
You're very clever. I love you very much.
I doubt it. Listen, where am I? Eric K for $2. Raquel is a meanie. We can like one just because. Nope. She is a meanie, though, that's for sure. We all know how cruel and mean she is.
Just Gene Roddenberry met with Gene Dolgoff. This was real. He went to his laboratory or laboratories, depends upon what country you're from. He went to his laboratory in New York in 1973. So we know this to be the futurism, the actual science fiction of futurism that Gene was so addicted to. And the lovely Sherry just walks through the door.
Hello there, the lovely Sherry. Eric, you had to stir her up. I almost had her calm down about the episode, and you had to get Raquel stirred up again, man.
Everyone say hello to the lovely Sherry. Can everyone throw flowers at the lovely Sherry?
Lovely Sherry, lovely to see you, my dear. Welcome. I love getting Raquel stirred up.
Sorry.
But that was Eric's fault. Damn it.
Eric?
Cut it out, man.
Just kidding. I love you.
No. Cowell, the stupid one, says A-. An episode featuring Barclay is always welcome, and I enjoyed Daniel Davis's performance as Professor Moriarty once again. I did too. I smiled when Barclay called out to the computer to end the at the end there, yes. Program. It speaks to the notion that at some point or another in their lives, people have postulated the theory that reality is nothing but a simulation, despite its issues. The episode was. Well, all I know is the one writing mine sucks. And I can't stand them. Entertaining, and the ending where the crew used Moriarty's own tactics against him was oddly satisfying. A fairly good episode overall. I kind of enjoyed that too, but we'll see. Let's see here. Mr. Tickletrunk says, C. Please read as limerick. Okay. Data needed a challenge before never seen. Holodeck made Moriarty supreme.
Ooh.
Clobby thinks it's okay. Sci-fi stew. Raquel says it belongs in the loo. If handed that hard drive, I'll wipe it clean. And he only gave it a C. That sounded like an F rating. Well done. Nice. Max, you got a competitor there. No, I'm just kidding, Max. No, a colleague, Max, not a competitor, a colleague. Well done, sir. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Michael Beacom says, Raquel and Clobberin Times, I have never believed the holodeck was creating using only light. They can create force fields, so it was always obvious to me it used manufactured projected matter. Yes, of course. It is different from just light. It's, just like on Red Dwarf when they were using the hard light holograms way before Voyager did it, by the way. Eric K says, please finish my second one. You sneezed midway. I have to find it. Oh my God! I don't know if I have it starred.
You want me
Wait
to
a
get
minute.
it?
I could have sworn I finished it. I know I finished it. But if you can find it, Eric, give it back to me and I'll do it, buddy. I could
No,
have.
I'm
No,
going
I
to
don't
get
know anything. But I unstar them once I do them. And I'm sorry, buddy. But you
I
don't
got
have
it.
to
I
pay.
got it. I got it. It's
Well, you
my
don't have to.
bronze wrencher. I'm not going to leave him. Okay, it's
No,
start. It's start.
that's the super chat though. I think he missed his second comment on the episode.
Oh, what?
That's when I sneezed.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the super chat. And by the way, you don't have to send a super chat for that, dude. I would say you could text me, but I have my phone turned down so I can't hear anything anyway. He probably did text me. No, he didn't.
We're good.
No.
We're good. We're good. Are you still sneezing?
Okay. No. I was just looking at a message from Mark, but I have my phone off, dude. So, so did you find Eric's second one? Eric, if you could put the second one back up there, bro, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I would have swore I finished it, buddy. I mean, I muted to sneeze for a second, then I couldn't even sneeze. Maybe I didn't read the rest of it. I'm an idiot, you know that, dude. So, if we could find that one, it's way back, but it is in the chat. Eric's number 2. While I'm reading the great Mark D with his C's. I'm sorry about that, bro.
King Dolphin TV is leaving.
Wow. All right, Raymond.
Good night,
Take it easy,
Raymond.
buddy. Have a good night, bro. Appreciate you. I guess we didn't get a review from LT. He must have had to run. Mark D with the C, our chief engineer, says A-. I really enjoy this episode and the concept of being stuck in the holodeck simulation. Plus, anything with Barkley automatically gets extra points. Agreed.
Love it.
I love him. Interesting continuation of the measure of the man discussion, which makes one sentient. What makes one sentient? The solution was actually quite kind. Moriarty and the Countess get to explore the galaxy, sort of, and live happily ever after. None the wiser. Moriarty and his desires to be free foreshadows my favorite character on Voyager, the Doctor. Yes. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk also approves computer end program, or at least drop me 50 pounds. So, I'll try to find your other one, Eric, if I can. Max just emailed me something for the next episode. Okay, Max.
Dun, 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 dun.
I will take a look at it. You already have one lyric from it, a limerick from it. Oh, he did. Eric did. Okay, Eric, I'm checking now. Hang on a second. Okay, thanks, dude. I'll get it right on that. And let's see here. Oh, here it is. Eric said it would have been great having Professor Moriarty working on the problem of being able to get off the holodeck. What if in Voyager having him solve the problem for the Doctor? Okay, thank you, Eric. Sorry about that, dude. I guess I must have. Well, you know my garbage memory. I'm sorry, brother.
It's okay, hon. It's all cleared up now. The bronze wrencher doesn't mind.
Bronze wrencher. Sorry about that, bud.
We got it all straightened out.
I'm an idiot. Okay, let's see. Are we ready for our final episode of the evening? Well, as ready as we can be, anyway. Are you ready?
Oh boy!
All right, everyone. We'll have Poopy Stew introduce our final episode of the evening, folks, and it is it's called Aquaman. Aquavelva. Yes, it's a smooth shape nose. Equivalent. Acquiesce. That's what I do a lot. I acquiesce to things a lot, see, because I'm reasonable. It's called Geordie Stalks Someone or whatever. Go ahead and watch it, whatever. Yeah, there you are. All right, everyone. The last episode of the evening is RAQUEL. Ready? Go for it, number one. Enjoy. Enjoy, everyone.
RAQUEL, season 6, episode 13. It's not a lucky number. We all watched this for the first time. Well, most of us did anyway. On February 1st, 1993. Happy Valentine's Day. All right. Let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365 The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. Please turn your hymnal to page 290. While investigating an abandoned relay station, the Enterprise finds the cellular remains of a missing resident. They initially believe that the remains belong to a Starfleet officer named Aquiel Unari, but Aquiel arrives on the scene a short time later. Apparently, the deceased was Aquiel's superior. LaForge forms a quick attachment to pretty Aquiel, but he's dismayed when evidence begins to mount indicating that she may be responsible for a murder. It was the best season yet for TNG. That's quite the statement. Story-wise, everyone was knocking it out of the quadrant. Oh, really? And then a dame like Aquiel walked into their lives. We were trying to do a riff on the old movie Lara, Ron Moore says. When a detective falls in love with a woman, thinks she's dead, and then she shows up alive. It was my second collaboration with Ron, offers Brandon Braga. We needed a story and a script quickly, so we wrote it together. It was a decent little love story, and I was happy to do something with Geordi. But the writers realized that the Enterprise crew's technology could have solved the crime in an instant. Yeah. Duh!
Yeah.
Which would have made it for a very short script. We were at pains trying to make the murder mystery harder than it needed to be. Murder mystery. Isn't this supposed to be science fiction futurism? Anyway, Moore says, well, the script became very technobabble heavy. Oh, it was heavy. It was heavy in something. Something that the Clawbony could clean up. It was not a new problem. Technology had run amok on the show, Moore explains. People had gotten careless about establishing what devices like the tricorder could do, and we were stuck with that. Walk into a room with a tricorder, and it could tell you who'd been there and what they'd done. Your tricorder should logically be able to tell you everything that's happened in a 100-mile radius. So we'd have to go through long, involved constructs about why it wouldn't work in that situation. We were always trying to trip up the technology. It was just too powerful. Yeah, because that's what you need less of in a science fiction show. Less of that science stuff, right? Anyway,
Science stuff.
while the writers worried about their ever-growing cache of technobabble, LeVar Burton calmly went about the business at hand. He was, after all, the ship's engineer. It was like memorizing the phone book, Burton says. It doesn't really relate to anything else. It's not like it's a part of the conversation. It's technical, and it has to be word perfect. So the idea is to access short-term memory in delivery. You spit it out as fast as you can to give the impression that you're really proficient and understand exactly what you're saying and hope that you're fooling everybody. Unfortunately, in the case of Aquiel, few were fooled or pleased. They admit it. But truthfully, neither the technology nor the technobabble was the villain here. The dog did it. That is all.
Oh, poor dog.
The block text has to say about Aquiel. Oh, Clobby, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of this beauty of an episode?
I'm very thankful for this episode because this should be a quick piece of work right here. It should not take us long at all. I love the doggy. I love the doggy. I can't see anything yet because I'm trying. Max put me to work and I'm trying to find stuff.
G.G. Kirk just put up. I just put it up on the marquee. This is the power of science, people.
Oh boy.
Jill says, "I don't respect anyone who blames the dog."
Well, I'll put it to you like this, folks. We have a bit of breaking news to interrupt it a little just for a second, and that if you've seen this man. And not just that, shout out the hat tip to the great Max Redstone. And Max has also given us this warning. Keep a lookout for him, and also this one. The stalker registry for just in case. So you guys watch out for these individuals, if you would. They're pretty dangerous.
Brilliant use of L cars. I love it.
Oh God, yeah. So watch out for those guys. If you know, just be. I don't have much to say. It's just first of all, it's boring. I don't really. Call me crazy, folks. I don't really go to Star Trek for my murder mysteries. To be honest with you. I don't have a whole. Again, I like me a murder mystery. Sometimes not my favorite genre or anything, but I don't really look to Star Trek for that. And that's what I remember. How I always talk about earning it. Yep. How if you're a great science fiction show like the original series, you earn the occasional fun off the wall episode like I'm Trouble with Tribbles. I keep saying that a lot, but I mean it. And you earn the right to do something a little quirky or off the wall every now and then. I have no problem with that. This show, they just need to fill up a bunch of damn episodes so they come up with stupid shite that no one cares about. And it's just boring. I mean, it's bad, but it's dull. And that's worse than anything being dull. Yeah. So I got to tell you, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because I'm watching an episode and I'm like, girl's cute, by the way. But I'm supposed to stay awake for this. I can't. Sure, whatever, guys. She killed. No, she didn't do it. Who did it? The alien Glop did it. No, the Klingons did it. No, Geordi did it. I wish Geordi had done it. I wish it had been Geordi's friggin' fault. So he would have been put in jail. He's annoying. Riker's annoying. The episode, they're all sitting around like, we got to get through this one. Then we can go out. Yeah, look, we can go out to dinner after this one. It's just putrid, boring bullshit. I have nothing interesting or technical to say about this crap. It's like, what do you do? Now, there are worse ones. Don't get me wrong. They're more glaringly, outstandingly like stupid shite. But this is just like, who approves this crap?
I know. It's so bad.
Why would you even make this shit? This is not Murder, She Wrote.
It's so bad.
This is just get out of here with this crap. Why? They walk in the guy says, I think you want the next building over there. They're filming Matlock over there.
Quincy.
Quincy's always canceled by now, but Matlock, there you go.
Is Matlock still on? Yes,
Matlock. It was on at the same time, I believe. Yes.
Oh God.
I was reaching for something
me too.
on around the same time.
Yeah, the murder mysteries.
Murder, She Wrote, of course.
Yeah. Party Boys, Nancy Drew.
Oh, let's see. This is early '90s. So yeah, Matlock and Murder, She Wrote, and Jake and the Fat Man were probably on, I guess. Holy shit! I was about to insult Simon and Simon, but no, that was a good show. So they wouldn't do this show on Simon and Simon, but if they did, it would still be cool because you'd have the Simon brother. This is just—it's not science fiction. I mean, yeah, you could say like even with the stupid Chain of the Command we were talking about. I mean, it was more science fiction than this.
Yeah,
even if it sucks.
It's terrible. This is terrible.
Just Murdoch mysteries. Yeah, I wish Murdoch. Yeah. Hell, I wish Barkley had been in it. There would have been something good about it. This is just like RAQUEL. Listen, who thinks this is a Star Trek episode?
I don't know. It's some of the dumbest stuff.
You know what? There was a great murder mystery on Deep Space Nine in season 7.
There was.
It was a science fiction concept, and they did it right. I like that episode. I think you know what I'm talking about with the Vulcan serial killer. I love that episode. We're not spoiler alert, but I'm saying
spoil it.
Not spoiled. I'm just saying. I'm just using an example of how you could do that.
Yeah.
This is just. I don't know. I got nothing. I don't have anything to say about the episode specifically because I didn't have enough pitchforks to stick in my eyes to hold them open. Oh, I remember back when I first went back and watched this one about 5 years ago. I was going, I don't think I've ever watched this one. But you know what? I may have and just blotted it out of my mind 5 seconds freaking later. So bad. This sucks. This is just like It's just, somebody just doesn't know how to write Star Trek around here. And I'm not talking about stupid, because stupid's one thing. Okay, stupid stuff. It's like they tried and they did, just like you were talking about this last episode, how all the shit they didn't think of for Ship of the Bob. That's an earnest attempt to do a science fiction story, and you're right. They screwed the pooch because it's all kind of, even though I enjoyed it, they all this kind of crap they didn't think about, and they didn't think it through. This one, they didn't give a shit. This is different. They didn't give a shit. They just said, it'll be a murder mystery episode. Who cares? It'll fill up 44 freaking minutes of dog crap.
It's so bad. And he blames the dog.
And they blame the damn doggy. The dog's the only good thing about the episode. I mean, the girl was kind of cute, to be honest, but so what? You got cute girls in every damn TV show. It's just like, yeah. And I know who cares. Can we have enough with the Geordie romances, by the way, for God's sake? That's another thing. Can we please stop with the Geordie friggin' romance shit?
Wolfie.
For God's sake.
Wolfie, who is a dog. Wolfie.
What was the dog?
Who was the dog? Just said that you had a little bit of a Freudian slip there. And he's figured out why I'm laughing so hard. Because he just put in the chat yellow all caps. And mind you, he's a dog. So there's like triple layers of irony here. They screwed the pooch.
Was it Pally?
They screwed the pooch and it's a dog. And Wolfie's the one who put
I'll say this for you. Pleasant Valley, he said, he just realized TNG was a template for STD. Well, it wasn't that bad in the sense that at least they weren't crying in hallways. They were just they were being boring, but no crying in hallways. So we'll give them some credit. I'll tell you what, we'll give them some points for that. How about that? No, it still sucks.
Hug me, please. Hold me. So bad.
Oh. Well, all we know, folks, is the butler didn't do it. The writers certainly didn't do it. I guess the glop did it, right? Or the whatever. I've lost track. Who did it? The dog, the Klingons, the glop?
Just pull the mask off his head. We can get in the mystery machine and drive away. Where's Velma? Velma, let's go.
Oh, and then
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Get them gotten away from it when it's not for those dang kids. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah. I've you ever watch something and like 10 minutes later you didn't think, you don't know if you watched anything or not? Like, did I just watch something? If someone said, so, like, let's say I walked out of the room and I said to you, I just watched the Star Trek episode. They go, really? What was it about? I go, about 40 minutes long. I don't know. Well, what was the episode about? Well, see, they went to the space station. Uh-huh. And somebody was killed. Okay. Who did it? Well, I mean, but what happened? What was the story about? Well, you see, there was this, and there was this, and there was a, well, you see, and then what happened was he and she did, and then he and, yeah, what was the question again? Fuck if I know. Oops. F this stupid, shitty episode. Sorry, everyone, I cussed. I apologize for dropping the bomb. Hopefully it was so late in the show it won't matter.
It's good. Did I do my notes?
Yes. Oh, did you have notes? Oh, well, I think you should take your notes and make a paper airplane out of them and throw it. But go ahead. But read them first.
Okay. Why didn't they scan for life signs before boarding?
Because reasons?
Why didn't Bev scan the dog? Normally she would. In which case, all would be revealed. RAQUEL slept on the shortest bed in all of Starfleet. They stole it from the display area of Bed Bath & Beyond. Geordie in love with a woman's journal. You don't say.
Good night, J.D. Lewis.
RAQUEL's cuts on her forehead, the blood stains on her face and uniform, and the tears in her uniform miraculously disappear without medical treatment or use of the replicator. In one shot, she's like, she is a poop wreck, an SHIT wreck. She's bleeding from her head. Her uniform's torn. She's got blood across her chest. She is effed up. And in the next scene, It's fine.
Yeah, what the
totally
hell was
fine.
that? Was she a changeling?
No, she was not. Why does she bring up the wig? It's so weird. It's so rando style. Why would she bring up the wig? Because if those were really her journals, they would be filled with intimacies. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of her journals. And it would be filled with intimacies. Why would she bring up the wig? When she says it in passing to Jordy, she's like, and you did see me in that wig. It's like, what? What am I watching? Okay. And then I I wrote, and it made my husband laugh when I showed it to him. Riel, rebirth.
What the hell? Oh, Jesus.
I say birth whenever I feel like I'm going to throw up. I say birth instead of barf because it doesn't sound like barf. It sounds like birth. So she's like, Jordy, Riel. And I was like, rebirth. Anyway, more infighting from the Decker unit and Jordy. Jordy and Aquiel are screaming in each other's faces. So you've got Jordy screaming in the Decker unit's face, and the Decker unit screaming in Jordy's face, and then Jordy and Aquiel are screaming in each other's faces. What's up with all the screaming? And here we have, dun 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 dun, we have it, folks. It's another telepathy sex rock. Everyone, go into your desk and take out your telepathy sex rock. It's time to get busy.
Oh my goodness.
It was the dog, her dog. No explanation. Two coalescent beings. What's with the Klingon subplot? It sucks. This is murder mystery night, not science fiction futurism. That's all I put.
Holy crap. Wow. So let's get everything moving, shall we? Number one, what is your rating of the wonderful episode Acqui something or other, and go for it. What is your rating?
Wolfie is projectile burfing. Burf.
Yikes.
It's a D minus. It's a D minus. I give this crappy episode a D minus. It needs the claw bony. We all need therapy. I want to bleach my brain. Burf. Burf.
I give this episode an F because I'm being kind to it. And again, I look, don't get me wrong, there are way worse ones. I do agree with it. Once, it's just that I hate being bored more than anything else. I mean, it would be more fun if there was stupid stuff to talk about in it. I can't really get into the stupid stuff that much. Like Raquel did a great job of naming stupid crap. I mean, I can't retain information about this episode long enough to remember anything about it. So every time boom, it just pops out. It just aggravates me that they do crap like this. So now, everyone, I want you to go ahead now and put your reviews in, your ratings, your reviews. And remember, don't listen to us. If you love it, you think the episode's the greatest thing ever, don't be tainted by our review. Go for it. But give it, because I know, for example, I was talking to my buddy Mark D with a C. I'm going to spoiler his review right now. He loved it and gave it an A++. And that's fine. We respect that. He loves the episode. And that's fine. I'm kidding.
Mark.
He knows I'm teasing.
Oh, I hope you're teasing, Mark. Did you fall and hit your head, honey?
Who wants
to call your wife?
Who wants a Max limerick?
Do it.
About this episode. Are we ready?
Cleanse our palate. Save us.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another limerick of the great Max Redstone with regards to the wonderful top 10 episode Aquiel. Who's Red Reef?
Red Reef.
Okay, there we go.
Everybody, take out your sex rock, your alien sex rock.
Aquiel by Max Redstone. A murder. A man turned into slog. The only living thing left is a dog. It's not so beyond the pale that Jordy meets a female by first poking through her personal log. God. Max!
So bad.
You killed me.
Good.
Dude.
I love him. I love you, Max.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ.
On a popsicle stick.
Be bold. If you like it, say it. We won't make fun of you.
No, no, I would never do that.
I like stuff that people hate all the time, and I like, so it's fine. So I'm just saying.
There are plenty of times
Be honest.
in life when people have gas and they have to blame the dog. Here, they just took it a little too far. They blame the dog.
So, here we go with our reviews, folks. We'll start out with J.T. Kirk, says D-. Why does a communications relay have but 2 crew? That was silly, impractical, and unsafe. There is 0 reason the job can't be accomplished remotely. Starfleet builds with multiple redundant systems. Claboni, 2 thumbs down. But you're right. Either have it remote or have it a decent sized crew for a place like that. 2 people on there's kind of goofy. With you there. Good point. Pleasant. Ovale Picker says D-. I don't remember this one. Generally a bad sign. So giving it a bad rating. One thing these Saturday nights have made me realize is that TNG was often crappy with occasional greatness. TOS rules. Yes. I'm so with you there, Pleasant. And again, I've said this a lot over these past couple of months while reviewing this show, even though I'd seen it many times before at different points. Doing it in order like this, all of them in a row like this, has made me believe, and here we are in the middle of the 6th season, has led me to really conclude that Star Trek The Next Generation, while there are a lot of good things there, is as wildly inconsistent a show that lasted as long as it did as any I've ever seen. Not horrible all the time, really good sometimes, but crazy inconsistent in terms of quality, in my opinion. Now, Eric Carroll says D. This one is a bit too sappy for my taste. Just Geordi looking pathetic again. Yeah, they do that, don't they, with Geordi? Max Redstone, the master of Limerick, says F. Of all of the relay stations and all the relay stations and all the sectors and all the Federation, she had to escape from mine. I can't do bogey, but what the hell? That dog ate my homework. Maybe Riker could be a worse cop if he tried to ride a moving car hood. Nice TJ Hooker reference, dude. Anti-derivative Jill, let's see. Oh, she doesn't have a review for this one either. Number 1, she just says, I'm sorry I didn't rewatch it. I'm not sorry for you. You're a friend. I hate to see people suffer. And don't remember a thing about it. Clearly, I avoid rewatching for a good reason. There's no crying but screaming. It seems just as bad as I equate the 2. Yes, no crying but screaming. Yes, that's right. And again, you've suffered enough. You sat through P Hard episode.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Season episode. She reviews it. She says she's a tough cookie.
I know. I love her.
Wolfie says, 1 of 3 here. D. Aqua what? I don't know what it is about this episode, but whenever I watch it, I can't stay focused on it. That happens to me, dude. I'm like, I have to go back and rewind crap to hear something. Not that I care much. I'm like, it's almost bewitching in its boredom. It's like, wow, it's trying to force me not to pay attention. It's something. There may be some like subliminal. Something subliminal in the filming of it. They're like, you will not watch this episode. You will not retain this information. You will not retain this information. This episode is too boring. Get some sleep. Get some sleep, you fat bastard. It's important to point out here that DS9 is competing for ratings and viewers here. With episodes like this, you have to wonder if the crew is done with TNG. And finally, Wolfie says, the electric sex part is right out of Coneheads.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, they are from France. Yes, France. The dog being the thing is stolen from John Carpenter's The Thing. Yes.
Yeah.
But in this case, the dog uses poo to spread the virus. Wow. Yeah. Yes, sir. That is wow. Too close to home, buddy. Then they call him Scuba. Pete gives it a D or maybe a D minus. Woof.
Woof.
Yeah. He gives it a woof. I got Mr. Tickle Trunk 2. I don't have a number 1 for him.
What?
If you see anyone see a Mr. Tickle Trunk number 1 in there, please let us know. In the meantime, JT Kirk, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You're too kind, my friend. You're very generous. Says, question, how many times could Mr. Woof Woof, if Mr. Woof could woof woof? Answer, 0, because he is not a Mary Bishan. Not a Mary Bishan. Did I say that wrongly, rightly, incorrectly, Lily? Did I mess that one up? How do you say that one?
Bishian.
Okay.
Like Bishian, like a Bishi warrior?
I guess. I thought you say it like this.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Thank you, JT. Appreciate you, sir. You're very nice of you. Okay.
Yeah, it's not here.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, if you
I'm
could,
looking still, but
I see your number 2 of 2, but we don't see a number 1 of 1. Could that have got eaten
vaporized?
somehow?
I don't know. So
may have
many
gotten
weird things are
vaporized.
going on.
Yeah. So if you're able to find that or send that back up, then I'll keep. We got plenty to go. If you can get that back to me, I apologize. I don't know what happened. In the meantime, Eric K says, F, at least this one is not a hole. This one was not a hole in the wall of the holodeck Jordy was using. Whoa. That was just weird. Okay. Let me see. We've got a lot of epics. Kal-El says, F, the murder mystery trope is used once again with a sci-fi twist, and the chemistry between Jordy and Raquel in this episode was virtually non-existent. The ending to this episode must have been written hastily on a napkin the night before it was filmed, and it shows. TNG owes me approximately 45 minutes of my life back. And that's only if you've seen it once. If you've seen it more than that, dang.
Weird. Mr. Tickle Trunk's other thing is not here. And it doesn't matter where I'm looking because we've had huge delays tonight.
Yeah.
And it being posted on our side of StreamYard.
Wow.
But it's not here.
Uncle Beacom says, but D-, dear Morin Braga, Raquel is no Lara. To cite a classic movie like Lara, man, shut up, dudes. And you have created a new curse. May you have the love life of Jordy LaForge. Yes. If you want, that is a good one, by the way. Curse someone like that. Woo. If you
Guess
want
who just walked through the door?
Who?
Kit Kat. Catastrophe. Kit Kat's here. Everyone say hello to Kit Kat.
Kit
Kat, I can't believe you're here.
Oh, welcome, Kit Kat. Good to see you.
And Eric says, Raquel, please tell Clubby to check his DMs.
Okay, thank you, Eric. You're the man. Appreciate it, buddy. You're too kind. Okay, so I'll finish this one real quick. I got Hungry Boy. Excuse me. Michael Beacom said, Raquel is no Laura. You have created a new curse. May you have the love life of Jordy LaForge. If you want sci-fi murder mystery, it can be done. Yes. Let's see here. But you have to be Asimov or Joe Haldeman, and who wrote a Star Trek novel. Haldeman wrote a Trek novel. Was it Planet of Judgment, Michael? To pull it off. and Messrs. Moore and Braga, you are no Asimov or Haldeman. Hadelman. It's Hadelman. Anyway, you'll correct me. In true film noir, Raquel would have done it and gotten away by using Jordy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. That's a good point, Michael Beacom. Absolutely ishness. Okay, let's see. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, and I apologize, I can't highlight it, but I have it right here. 1 of 2. Let's see. F and F sandwich made on F's between 2. Who cares? Maybe that's why they went after it.
Yeah, they vaporized it.
Could be. I have expected the men to be humping her leg, and at some point, let alone the dog, at some point, at least that's what I thought about while daydreaming. Boy, we all daydreamed during this episode, Duder.
We did.
Instead of watching, I may have lost the will to live at some point and fantasized about walking fully clothed into the ocean instead of fishing. It had a dog, but Did someone lose a bet? Thumbs down for the great Mr. Tickle Trunk. Dude, right there with you, buddy. This was some
No, he's got
dull
some good
crap.
stuff that didn't get vaporized by YouTube that I've also starred. He's said some pretty
Okay.
funny stuff.
Okay. The great Hungry Boy says D+. Fully adjusted for Raquel's sarcasm. So hear this in Blackadder sarcastic speaking to Hugh Laurie in the sarcastic voice. Okay. We'll hear it in Rowan Atkinson's voice. Here we go.
I will.
All right. Let's see him. This episode is like a charming rook. He's going to put words I can't read. He does it all the time to me, doesn't he? I thought you liked me, Hungry Boy. Why do you say rock? I mean, rogue?
That's good.
Not rogue.
No.
It's supposed to be rogue. It's rogue.
Yeah.
Who cons you into buying his dinner and drinks, but his wayward banter and tales leaving you smiling away. But his way. Okay. All right, hang on, Hungry Boy. I know Blackadder with the best of them, but I can't do a good Atkinson. Sorry. This ep distracts us from the ruse of the ripoffs with the charm of the cast and the member berries of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Thing 1982. It's a brisket masquerading as filet mignon, but the zest of the sauce, potency of the vino, and charm of the water also compensate for the con job. And it sucks, right?
No, it's fine. Don't worry. It's hard to read all this stuff this late at night. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Hugger Boy, love you, brother. Thank you. Man, it would help if I put the computer closer to my screen, but I never learned that lesson. Mega Cropper says C-. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Let's see here. Now, number one, if you would be so kind. Our great friend Enigmatic Drop Bear.
I will.
Is ready, is up. Let us go for it. Go for it.
I detect that Edie is going to be pretty passionate about destroying this episode. 1 of 5. It's an Esh pick, folks, and he's given it a D. So what starts out as a pretty basic murder mystery turns into a farcical fantasy totally bereft of science fiction. I love this person. I love this person. This episode also features another magic rock, a canar. It is now a truism that any TNG episode featuring magic rocks is synonymous with a second-rate story. Oh, you're just saying that because you haven't touched my magic telepathy sex rock.
Dear.
Touch it. Go ahead. Touch it.
Weird.
Anyway,
Wow.
5, Jordy has to be singled out for extremely poor judgment. For God's sake, Unari was a suspect in a murder investigation. 4 of 5, Dr. Crusher's hand came into contact with the reconstituted gloop, and it duplicated her hand. However, she was not injured in any way. So why does the individual being cloned have to die? Exactly.
Good point.
Anyone who has seen The Thing would have known all along it was going to be the dog. Add plagiarism to the list of criticisms for this one.
Maybe this was from the same planet as The Thing from A Thing from Another World as the original story. The John Carpenter's The Thing. Good idea. Good one there.
A Hungry Boys told me that's too violent for me, so I won't be watching that.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorites, but I don't think I want you watching that one either. No. You'll have to. No. Yeah, it's a good call. Please never watch
Hungry Boy is protecting me from that one. He said that's no.
Hey, are you kidding me? I definitely don't want you watching that.
I won't. I promise.
And I don't like violent crap either. Usually, but the movie's just so good.
Yeah.
Pleasant
That's a
Valley.
scary one though.
Oh, it's too scary. It is scary. Pleasant Valley Picker says Clobby and Raquel's reviews were 100 times better than the episode. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Max Redstone changed his mind. He said, I changed my mind. A plus. This is the greatest story, the greatest love story since the movie of the same name. Wow. Love story. Did they ever remake that? They remade everything else. Wasn't that with Ryan O'Neal? I can't remember. I was in tears by the end. Oh, wait. I was crying because I stubbed my toe 6.5. in a row. Oh, 6 times in a row. F minus, F minus. Well, it was fun while it lasted, dude. Are you happy to see me, or is your sex crystal in your pants? Says Scuba Pete. Oh, dude.
Oh, so good. I love it. Stupid
Hungry
sex
Boy had
rock.
another one. Alien Sex Rocks and Tangerine D.
It's true. The stupid telepathy sex rocks. They're so bad. Stop using telepathy sex rocks.
James Cassar said, my telepathy sex rock, question mark. Let's see here. Dadman says, see, I must be sick and need help because this was oddly okay. Didn't like the easy killing of the alien at the end, and LaForge was cringy, so should stick to reading shows and not trying to be a ladies' man.
Yeah.
To reading shows. Reading shows. Oh, yes, Reading Rainbow. Good. Let's see here. Let's get Phantom Outsider here. Gives it a D for dumb. Episode D for dumb episode, and I have created a new category, the milk carton episode. It's not technically missing, but no one is looking for it either. Lazy writers, the dog ate our plot. Wow, I like it. Well done, Phantom Outsider. Everyone is postulating, what if Moriarty escaped? He has escaped. He has escaped. He time traveled and is responsible for Bad Reboot and is the head writer for New Drek, aka Filth, as revenge of Moriarty. That would be a proper revenge plan to destroy Star Trek for what they did to him. Yeah, there you go. Moriarty's first test episode after his escape after all Geordi created him. Oh yes, after all Geordi created him. This episode would have been better served if it revisited Wolf in the fold, either new alien or original back after 78 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Phantom Outsider. Kal-El says, Scuba Peter, it's not mine. I am holding it for a friend. Okay. What? That's not a review. Oh.
No, but I have highlighted several hysterical conversations that are going on regarding the same comments, and they're puntastic, punnerific, great, jovial fun being had by everyone in the chat, and it's pretty darn hysterical, I'm not going to lie.
All right. Well, my favorite band is a briefcase full of sex rock. Jesus. Mr. Tickle Drunk says, which sex rock? I have so many.
This is all going towards Star Wars. So
what are you
just
doing
hold
to me?
on.
Whose balls are bluer, Geordie's or Bashir's? Discuss.
Sorry. It's going to Star Wars.
Kit Kat Catastrophe. Good to see you. I knew. Always like to see a new person come in. I hope you are well. Great to see you. I'll miss you on Twitter, Raquel.
I love you. I miss you too.
Mr. Tickleton, I've reposted 2 times. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, but we already figured out why he got kicked, because he wrote F and then the algorithm thought he was trying to swear. So.
I give it a C. Go Woke, Go Broke says they're at the Naxamanda Bear. Thank you so much.
Fair.
Scuba Pete says, anyone else feel like that comforter should be gluing in random areas under the UV? Like, Jesus, dude. What the hell's wrong with you, boy?
Just walk through the door. Hiya, baby.
All right. Good to see you. In with a bunch of M's. I might start pronouncing it that way. Scuba Pete, what the hell's wrong with you, boy? Jeez.
He's great. I love him. He's hysterical.
You got real stones, Geordie. Yeah.
No, I think that was Geode from the Star Wars
Geode.
reference.
Well, I can't see. Damn it. I mean,
it's okay, but it's so funny because the Star Wars thing was a ripoff of Space 1999. All the blisters.
Yes. Careful can cause premature crystallization. Right. And now for our final review of the Even Ing.
Okay. From
our great chief engineer, Mark D with a C. Mark D with a C gives it an A++++. I love this episode. It's probably my number 1 or 2. It's right in my top 3. It's brilliant. extraordinarily well written. The characterization is fantastic. I love the part where Geordi takes the phaser and has a running phaser battle with all those Klingons and kills them all, and finally takes a bat left and sticks it up a Klingon's ass. That was one of the great. Oh, different episode. Sorry. No, he writes I squared equals -1. Dude, I'm gonna give you your agonizer putting stuff. I don't know what the hell that means. Your agonizer, please. This one is so bad it gets an imaginary number for a review. Wow. Oh, you made it up, damn it. No cameras on a space station. Yeah, no cameras on a space station. My doorbell has one now.
Yeah.
True. Of course, they could have predicted that. They could have predicted iRing or whatever the hell they call that. A ring. Sorry. A crew of 2 living there for long periods. That's pretty stupid too. Yeah. The stupidest strong was this episode, buddy. Geordi has to watch the diaries in real time. Yeah. The files can't be transferred into the computer to analyze, or maybe have data watch them at 100 speed. Then you wouldn't have the romance episode. Contrived horrific writing. Yes,
that is actually romance. Hey, you murdered somebody. Can I touch your telepathy sex rock? Sure.
I mean, let's be fair to Geordi a little bit. She was cute, but anyway, Geordi would be reported to HR. I can put in a good word for you. He said, "Oh, well, that was weird." WTF? And no one thought the dog might have been infected. Yeah. Well, he's a cute dog, though. Come on, not trying to play devil's advocate here or anything. What about the biofilter in the transporter? That only works when they need it for a stupid plot device. RAQUEL is allowed to stay in Starfleet. Yeah, she's an idiot, really. Then we end the episode with a sex crystal.
Yeah.
Arg. Well, it's just a lovely episode, basically.
It's another telepathy sex rock.
Guess what, folks? We got it done.
Dun 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 dun.
Full on more episodes in the can for that have been reviewed by us.
Scuba Pete. Everybody must get stoned.
Yes, indeedy-ishness. Oh my goodness. What was the first step? James Caserta tonight. We did Chain of Command 1, Part 1, then Part 2, then Ship in a Bottle. Now this lovely episode, Aquavelva. Or whatever.
They all sucked, really, James Caserta.
Raquel did not enjoy herself.
This is a terrible week.
All she cares about is UFO now.
No, I'll always love Star Trek. It's just this week it was not good.
I don't know how you do that every year, though. You need to stop being so OCD and just watch good episodes when you go back, and don't watch them in order like that anymore. That's horrible. That means you watch this thing every damn year.
I do, and I'm a linear thinker, and I'm a linear doer. I find it incredibly difficult to do things out of order and just hodgepodge. Like I have to go through it, and I love lists. I check through lists. But yeah.
Episodes like that should cure you of such things. Andy Deal says next week, Face of the Enemy, Tapestry, Birthright 1, Part 1, and Birthright Part 2. Thank you, the wonderful anti-derivative Jill. So, everyone, I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. You're fantastic. What a great crowd you all been. Just amazing, in the light of such episodes.
Yes.
I really appreciate you. Let's see. We'll do again like we did at the beginning of tonight's show. Big shout out, happy birthday to the great William Shatner, who just turned 50. He turned 91 on Monday, my son's birthday as well. So my son gets to share a birthday with the great captain. And then today, of course, no longer with us, but we love him. The great Leonard Nimoy would have been 91 years old. Happy Leonard Nimoy Day in Boston. That Boston made it. So, 2 cornerstones of Star Trek, the 2 biggest, and we love them.
No wonder everyone in the chat loves Scuba Pete so much. He's on
what did you
fire
do now?
today.
What did you do now? What is it? What is it?
Scuba Pete says,
taking it for granted.
taking it for granted.
Oh, dude.
Taking it for granted. They self-clean.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Scuba Pete, you rock. Well,
You
we'll,
rock.
I'll do
You
a
rock.
quick,
Why did you say that?
I couldn't help it.
You
Quick,
guys are great.
quick show note, and then we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll run. Monday night Moxie Comics Talk. Her birthday was today. We're going to celebrate a great comic artist, one of the all-time greats, the extraordinary Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. A little bit of look at his art and other fun open talk. It'll be great because he's one again. When I think DC Comics characters, I think of his art in particular, and so that'll be Monday night on Monday Night Moxie Comics Talk, and then of course more other shows Wednesday night. Wild Card Wednesday. We'll see if we do anything there, and Thursday night, Clubby's Clubhouse, and then back here next week, same Trek time, same Trek channel for Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And now let's say some goodbyes to our wonderful friends because we love you all for hanging out with us. And everyone gets a shout out at the beginning of the show and in the end, whether they're still here or not. We go through, we name you all. We know it takes a while. We don't care because we just like to acknowledge everyone who hung out with us. You mean a lot to us, and thank you so much for being here. So, of course, our crew, our illustrious crew members, the great Mark D with a C, our engineer.
Thank you, Mark. I salute you, sir.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for being here, buddy. Let's see here. Our wonderful communications officer. That is Anti-Derivative Jill. Jill, love you. We really appreciate you being here. And I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for all your help and all you do. We appreciate you.
Very much so. Good night, sweetheart. Have a great weekend.
Okay, let's see here. Sorry. Okay. I had it written down. And of course, our chief of security, the great Lord Doth, LT Buddy. I believe he had to run, but a shout out to the great LT.
And his beautiful wife. The
Indeed.
LTs!
The great J-Man.
Good night, J-Man.
As always, I think he had to run, but a big shout out to him. Pleasant Valley Picker, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you, buddy.
Night, BC.
Appreciate your participation and your kind words. It is a pleasure to have you. It's great to have you here. The great man of iron himself, D. Bud Martin, buddy.
Yay!
The extraordinary Phantom Outsider, Phantom Buddy. Good to see. Thank you, man, for being here.
Great comments tonight.
Indeedishness, absolutely. Mazarus, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Yes.
We really appreciate you. The Comic Relief Crusader, buddy, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you there.
Good night. Have a good weekend.
The Super One, the great Kal-El, good to see you, buddy.
Good night, Stephen. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Enigmatic Drop Bear, thank you so much for being here, ED.
On fire tonight, ED. Thank you for the laughs. Love you very much. See you next week.
Narat Nanaxamanda Bear, another bear. Thank you, Narat. Appreciate you.
Great comments tonight.
Scuba Pete, brother. Buddy, always great to see you here, bub. And then a shout out to your wonderful better half, buddy. Thank you so much.
Send Leslie our love. And yeah, we just love you very much. And thank you for your hysterical dad jokes and for just being a wonderful friend to one and all. You're the best. I love you. Mwah.
Appreciate you, man. The great Cardinal Sin. Phil, appreciate you, buddy, as always. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend, Cardi.
Appreciate your kind donations. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. The great Master Hungry Boy, the great who is under the name of Hungry to try making comic art on stone paper. Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. You've been a great friend of the show.
Yeah, we love you. Good night.
The master contributor, fantastic. I mean, I can't thank him enough. It would take too long. I wouldn't even know how to put the words. He's the man because he's the master of words and limericks. Max Redstone.
Yes.
Dude. Again, I can never thank you enough for all you do. You're just extraordinary. We love what you do, man. We appreciate you. I don't know how to show that appreciation, but I'll find somehow, some way I will. But thank you so much.
Yes.
Big thank you and shout out to the great dad man walking for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Or did you have something to say there, Raquel? I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, not at all.
Okay. He says, thanks for the laughs and for laughs from Mrs. and me tonight. It's wonderful here, although didn't expect to run into Trek After Dark. Quite an arousing experience after all. I had a friend who used to, on my old BTR, used to do a show called Trek After Dark.
And then look at what he put. Rock on.
Rock on, buddy. Thank you.
Can I just say thank you so much, Dad Man, for that wonderful gift to Clawby's channel. Thank you for supporting our channel and for supporting this show. And I would just like to ask you to please extend our thanks and our love and our hellos to the whole Dad Man clan. You folks are very good people, and we appreciate you very much. You're great company, very good friends of ours, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Indeedishness. Michael Beacom, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you.
Yeah, great guy.
He went to bed, but big shout out to our friend who's not feeling well, our wonderful friend, Steve Mitchum.
Yeah.
I hope you and Maddie feel better, brother. I know you can't hear us now, but get well soon, buddy. I'll check with you tomorrow. Wolfie, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
It's midnight, okay?
Wolfie loves it. I don't know what Wolfie's true feelings are on that, but I think I would. Tyrell 72, thank you so much for being there.
Night, Tyrell.
Really appreciate you, sir. Thank you. I'm just really honored to have you here. He had to run, but our navigator, the great Raymond Feliciano, King Dolphin TV. Please, of course, if you have not subbed yet, please sub to King Dolphin TV. And of course, the great Eric K, Mr. Bronze Rinser himself, buddy. You're too kind, my friend.
Yeah, we love you, Eric. Thank you for everything that you do and to help us behind the scenes, buddy. And for just being a sweetheart of a human, such a wonderful gentleman. And I'm so proud and honored to call you my friend. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. If I know where I am here. Mrs. Dadman, of course, is Mr. Dadman. Thank you. I think she went to bed, but we tell Mrs. Dadman good night for us, Mr. Dadman, and we tell her we appreciate her participation. We really like it. We really enjoyed it. He popped in earlier a little bit. The great Parrot Head buddy. If you're still out there, thank you so much. Let's see here. Brandon, the anime guy. I believe he had to run, but shout out to you and thank you for your oh man, sorry, dropped something. And thank you for your contributions. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, and great conversation also. Thanks, Brandon.
Indeed. Trevor Cunningham, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good night, Trevor. Also, I just want to say that I love all of the rock jokes that continue in the chat. Clobby, Captain, they've moved on to Flintstone jokes now and Bedrock.
I see. Absolutely. The Thing. Thank you for being here. Yeah. What's here tonight? Just Joe, Jobber Buddy, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for popping in tonight, man. I hope you're doing great, bud.
Good night.
Eric Carroll, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, great conversation. Thank you so much.
Pop Culture Republic popped in earlier. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Pop Culture Republic.
Our great friend, JT Kirk. Thank you.
Yes.
The amazing Mr. Tickle Trunk. Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you so much for everything you do. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart of a human, and I loved your comments. And I'm sorry that you got a little zapped by the algorithm tonight, but I'm glad that we were able to recover your comments because we love your comments. You're a great company, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Have a great weekend.
Keely Chow, Roll Tide, thank you so much.
Night, Keely.
And Mark D, if you're busy, it's cool, man, but I did send you a link if you wanted to pop in and say hello. Pat S was here earlier.
Yeah. Good night, Pat.
Thank you so much, buddy. Mega Cropper, always a pleasure, Mega Cropper. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you.
And Mega Cropper had a pretty good time tonight because Mega Cropper had comments. I always love hearing from Mega Cropper.
Indeedishness. But only if you feel like it, Mark. I'm just saying. If you don't be, if you're tired, don't worry about it. JT5, thank you so much.
Yes, J25, great comments tonight. Thank you.
The great Rod Thunderheart Popper.
We love you, Alberta.
Indeed. Our new friend, Bert Virtue, whom I did not see in there, but you found out.
I hope
Thank
you had a
you.
great time, and I hope we'll see you
Right.
again. Welcome to our community.
Thank you so much for being here. James Caserta, thank you for popping in.
Good night, James.
Oh, we didn't wake you up, bud.
No. My machine didn't go bing, so I didn't hear it.
Oh, well, that's what I figured. I just thought I would tell you. But,
Oh, thank you. No,
well, thanks for
great,
popping in. I just
great,
wanted-
awesome show tonight, God. I
Oh.
think we have more fun on the episodes that are even more terrible. So that was just
So
hysterical.
true.
That was so much
It's
fun.
not my fault you like that RAQUEL episode. I want to say a big Clobbering Time shout out and thank you to Mr. Cameron Pasha. I'm honored to have you stop by Clobbering Times. We appreciate you.
Night,
And
Cameron.
thank you so much for that. I don't know if Cameron's doing a channel right now. If he is, please go. You can look it up at YouTube. I don't have a link. Maybe if anyone knows. I know he does a Patreon and things like that. And of course, he's on Doomcock show often. I just don't know if he's doing a channel right now, but he is on Doomcock a lot. So thank you, Mr. Cameron Pasha. I appreciate that. Monkey Jeebus popped in earlier.
Monkey Jeebus!
The Catman, a.k.a. Didi Myers' brother.
Good night, Dee Dee Myers.
I hope you and the wife are doing well.
Catman, tell your wife that Clubby and I say hello.
Indeed. Oh, look, Mr. Angel popped in there.
Chef!
Mr. Angel, the last minute there, buddy. Good to see you, Chef. Hey, good to see you,
Hey,
my friend.
Mr. Angel. Oh, you overslept though. That's too bad.
No, it
That's
happens.
okay,
But
darling.
that's different. He's across the pond, as they say.
It happens,
so
my friend.
Not-
Way, a lot of ponds.
a lot of ponds. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
understandable.
Dave J. Sound, thank you. The Woke Breaker, thank you for being here. The lovely, beautiful Sherry, thank you, Sherry, for being here tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. JD Lewis, my friend, thank you. Kit Kat Catastrophe, another new person I don't know.
Kit,
thank
I
you.
know Kit, and
You know
I'm
Kit?
so
Okay.
happy that you stopped in, Kit. I hope you come back. I know
I
you
hope
love Star
so.
Trek. I know you love original Star Trek. I know you're a part of 6605. I know you're a 735er, and I'm so happy that I saw you in the chat. My love to you, Kit, and I hope I see you again.
And finally, thank you for popping in. Always good to see you. And that's all at least that I have on paper that I know of. So I hope I didn't miss anyone else. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher, sends us thank you, buddy, for the super chat. He says, most expensive machine in Mark's lair. Bing.
Yeah, right.
I love Eric.
And
Oh,
in
Lord.
that spirit, I did a funny mashup of Star Trek and Star Wars Chain of Command. So I'm going to put the link in if anyone wants to watch it after. So
Okay.
that might give you some, hopefully give you some more laughs. Yeah.
Put your link in there and your channel in there.
Kit stayed. Kit
Huh?
stayed tonight.
Put your link in
Kit.
your channel. Oh, Kit. Well, good to
I
thank you,
can't
Kit.
believe you stayed. That's so cool. Kit,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want you to know that everyone here, like we're all friends. We've been hanging out for like over a year, I think now. And I just want you to know that we love your expertise around here. I know you're a Star Trek brainiac. And I just want you to know that if you want to dive in and comment, you'll be more than welcome. No pressure.
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
But I just want you to know that your sassy,
Everyone's
saucy
welcome,
knowledge and protecting the good stuff, the 6605 is so welcome here. And this is such a great community. And Kit, I can't believe you stayed. I love you. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you, Kit. We appreciate you. Appreciate you all being here tonight. Before we play our end credits, please take a look at this lovely video for our wonderful first officer's writing. Wait a minute. Oh, we have an emergency.
What?
We have a
Uh-oh.
treat. We have a treat for everyone. The last second treat that I should have brought up earlier, but I got busy and forgot about it. Some guy named Mark D with the C sent us this. This is just a little bit of a reminder of tonight's show. Let's try it.
Tell me how many lights you see.
There are 4 lights!
It's so bad. It's some of the worst. It's some of the worst acting
Wow. There we go. So,
It's
all right,
so
folks.
bad. It's so bad. I'm sorry. That's the second time you guys made me ugly laugh tonight, but I can't help it. It's dumb. Dumb.
Well, what's wonderful, though, is
Terrible.
the works of my wonderful first officer are available here. Please watch this video and then our wonderful end credits and have a that she also made. So, and that our first officer, who else not only helped us with these videos, helped us get to the screen here. Thank you all so much, and I hope we see you again on the streams here on Clobberin Times and all the other places there on YouTube. And next week, clobber on, clobberers. Good night, everybody.